Dallas.
All right, fellas. Yeah, I'll be good, man. Bye.
All right, buddy. Take care. And any of you, by the way, can use that code TNR20 to save 20% off your first order at Roback.com.
Roman and Cole Tuesday nights on the SEC Network when they did their show. I think.
I don't remember. It's been too long, Jim.
Yeah, it was
but I think you're right about
just
that.
last year, but I know what you mean. It's all off season gets long.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's Tuesday night on the SEC Network. Really good there. Roman is one of the best in the business, and we appreciate him being with us to talk a little Alabama. There is there any Alabama thought before we move on that we did not get to today that you wanted to get to today when it comes to the Crimson Tide being number 4?
A couple of things that I wonder: how many SEC teams are going to be allowed in this field, and what is that number? Because I do think there's going to be, when he mentions the Ole Misses and the Missouris, I think there could be a lot of 9-3 teams, and I just wonder with that schedule if the committee appreciates, losing 3 games and still getting to a college football playoff.
Ben Hartstock this morning on SiriusXM, he asked me, did I think 5 SEC teams could get in? And I was like, I think 5 is a bridge too far for either conference, Big Ten or SEC, because, and I said this, I believe you just start with the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get 3 in. They're going to get 3 in. No matter what the season looked like.
That's 6 total,
the Big Ten and the SEC is going to get 3 in.
That's right.
They're automatic in 2 wild cards. And then, so there's 6. Big 12, ACC, and a group of 5. So now you're at 9.
We've got 3 spaces left.
3 other spaces.
For Notre Dame and those other 2 conferences.
Yeah, so Notre Dame could eat up one a lot. And then,
and I think they will.
I do too.
And I do think every other year the SEC or the Big Ten will have 4. Sometimes both will have 4, depending on Notre Dame. I think 5 is going to be just a bridge too far.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, but I think 3 every year, and most years 4 SEC, 4 Big Ten, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on that. There will be years where they both get 4.
Yes.
And it's going
and I think deservingly, Brown, because you look at the schedules you got to play compared to the others.
I don't disagree. It's going to feel like I'm only watching an SEC Big Ten championship at that point.
Until the ACC or Big 12, one of those teams makes noise. You have another Clemson situation. Florida State, they get better. If they're not winning games, then that might determine what we see in the future of this. And, there's going to be a lot of fatigue with the Big Ten and the SEC, but if those are the best teams, and if this year in that 12-team playoff, the Big Ten and the SEC completely dominate, which they probably will.
Yeah.
But you're saying if Clemson gets in, or Miami or Florida State, it's good for them to win a game or 2?
Yeah.
Because then they get a little street cred. So maybe
then you start
2.
saying the ACC, Clemson beat Miami in the regular season. Miami was able to win a game in the college football playoff. I think it does get them a little more credibility.
That's a great point. Because then Clemson comes into this with a little street cred.
Yep.
I think Florida State does a little bit from last year, though it's a completely different looking team. But if they back it up, you could get 2 ACC in this year.
And there's really, as good as Utah's been, there really isn't any credible teams right now in the Big 12.
But if if Oklahoma State won it or Kansas State won it, and Utah was really good and just lost the Big 12 championship game, I think Utah's done enough recently that I would consider them.
Well, I will tell you this. If one of those 2 teams wins the Big 12 and they host I guess they get a bye.
Yeah, if they win the Big 12, they get a bye.
They get a bye.
Okay, well, the one team that doesn't, if 2 teams get in and you've got to go to Manhattan or you got to go to Salt Lake,
it's a tough spot.
Tough games.
I just wonder how often one of those teams will get in and host. It feels like if they get in, they're going to be like the 11 or 10 seed.
That they'll be traveling to an SEC or Big Ten.
That's going to be hard for the Big 12 when you think about it this way.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
It is another day of the next round. Along with Lance Taylor, I'm Ryan Brown. Welcome in. Rockstar is here. Lunceford is here. Scott, Tyler. Little TNEG aren't because they're on the road with Jim Dunaway. You notice Jim Dunaway is not here today because he's paying off the old bracket bet. At 5 Division I gyms throughout the great state of Alabama he has chosen. It did not have to stay in Alabama. He chose for it to. But Dunaway is on his way to Auburn, Neville Arena, to try shot number 1. I guess the clock starts ticking the minute he walks to Neville Arena. Is that right? 24 hours?
He gets 24 hours. And the agreement yesterday, there was a thought that if he doesn't complete it, he still tries for 24 hours. It's over. Clock resets.
Yeah.
So he's got to finish this thing. But he's got 24 hours to do it.
24 hours. So
I agree with you. I think he took the wrong course. I would have gone to Nashville.
Yeah, I mean,
and worked my way down.
I tried to pitch that to him once. It did not go well, but I was like, in Nashville, we're going to be there in Dallas. And I started the pitch on Dallas, actually. I was like, in Dallas, you've got SMU, TCU, and Fort Worth. What else is out there? UT Arlington is Division I. I mean, there's a bunch of Division I schools out there.
I'm sure in the Dallas area,
Yeah.
Dallas, Fort Worth, you could find 6, 7, 8.
I don't know if Dallas Baptist is division, but then you got North Texas just right up the road in Denton, and he was like, no, with SEC Media Day. So then I said, well, then you ought to go to Nashville, or you start at Vanderbilt. That's your toughest one. But then I think Belmont, Lipscomb, Middle Tennessee are easy. Then you got to find one more on the way home. Chattanooga.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Hit Chattanooga on the way home.
The easiest would be if you could be in Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Then you could really knock it out.
Now, he has chosen the Alabama route. He's on his way to Auburn, so he's going to go Auburn. He told us yesterday, Auburn, Alabama State, Alabama, UAB Samford. I think he's starting with the most difficult one. I think Neville Arena is going to be his biggest challenge.
Well, we saw somebody in the mybookie.ag chat yesterday saying that Auburn was actually on that court practicing.
Yes.
So,
well, that means the goals are up, and that's another factor in this. Like, they don't always just leave the goals up, year-round at some of these places. So if he gets in a gym and there's no goal, he can't hit a 3.
Well, I think
it's going to be tough.
The worst thing is, can you even get in? I know sometimes these venues are left open.
Yeah, I think
which
that's
has always been strange to me.
Yep, that's why I think Neville. I tried to tell him, like Jack State, you got to look at places where there are classes in the arena. And I told Jim a number of times. I had classes in Pete Matthews Coliseum at Jack State. So they have to leave it unlocked.
Coaching baseball at Coleman Coliseum.
That's right, at Coleman Coliseum. I don't think they have any classes in Neville Arena. It's been built since you had to include classrooms to get state funding. You just go and build these things now without classrooms. So I don't think
I think it's going to take a lot of luck, or he's going to have to break the rules.
Well, it is the mybookie.ag bracket payoff for Jim Dunaway. And this is how it all started this morning. Rockstar has the video. Dunaway has to hit a 3-point basket in 5 Division I arenas in 24 hours. And part of the bet payoff was wearing a costume of our selection. And this is what it looked like earlier today for those watching us.
Now. That is sex.
That's going to be the problems all the co-eds on the campus, right?
Oh, well.
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets.
I can't believe Taylor and Emily Grace are going to have to spend 24 hours with that.
Yeah. They hope they're not. They
But I mean, really, what is the quickest this thing can be completed?
Well, let's see. It's a 2-hour drive to Auburn. Allow 30 minutes, best case scenario, you think?
I mean, this is going to be a grinding day.
So that's 2.5. What is it? Auburn to Montgomery's an hour?
Yeah, probably a little less.
So that's 2.5. That's 3.5. Add 30 minutes at Alabama State. So you're at 4 hours now. Montgomery
lunch break.
Well, you got to have lunch. So let's add 30 minutes there. So 4.5 hours. Montgomery to Tuscaloosa is another, hour and a half?
Yep.
So now we're up to 6 hours, 30 minutes at Coleman. It's 6.5 hours. Hour to
back.
Birmingham, 7.5 hours, 30 minutes UAB, 30 minutes to Samford. You're at 8:30. It's probably 9-hour day. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
Woof. And I don't know. I think they started
And
about
that's
7:30.
if it's flawless.
That's if everything goes perfectly. I'm allowing only 30 minutes to get in an arena and shoot.
Yeah, because let's say that Auburn doesn't work out. You
That's
immediately have to leave Auburn, and then you've got to come up with a 5th.
Yeah. I mean, would you go? So Zach is saying I would have started at Jack State, UAB, Samford, Alabama, Mississippi State. That's just, kind of, on that I-20 corridor. Then you veer north to Mississippi State. You could have done that. I don't know. I mean, there weren't amazing. It's once a punishment. There weren't amazing, possibilities here. But he's on his road, and he will join us. We will be live. Him trying to get into Neville Arena. Coming up in
Tyler
the third
is right.
segment.
We probably will see some fender benders all over the state today.
Yeah, to delay Dunaway.
Yeah,
and
just
be
in
like,
Dunaway fashion.
Yeah, at some point on the news, it'll be like, we have never seen this many wrecks in one day in the state of Alabama. let's go to Skycopter 12.
No, because you've been on 459 before,
Yeah.
and you get behind one of those wrecks, it's 2 hours.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can completely shut a road down. All right, so Dunaway is doing that, the MyBookie.ag bracket payoff. But we got a lot to get to on the show today. We're going to unveil our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40 team in this segment. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we'll talk with Chip Brown in the second segment about Texas football. Also, Buster Olney making a Wednesday appearance. He's got travel tomorrow. So Buster with a Wednesday appearance with us today. But we start at Big 12 Media Days. So we discussed this yesterday, Lance. Was it a good idea or bad idea for Ollie Gordon to go to Big 12 Media Days? I think we all agreed it was a bad idea.
Yeah,
right?
I thought it was a really bad idea. Now, what I did not realize was how prepared in a very strange way Mike Gundy was going to be for this.
So, but here's the crazy thing. Like, Ollie Gordon goes to Big 12 Media Days. I've seen none of Ollie Gordon.
Oh, no.
All I've seen is Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I heard Ollie Gordon and Alan Bowman getting interviewed by Rick Neuheisel yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
And, Ollie Gordon seemed like he was in great spirits. I did not hear Rick ask a question about the arrest. But you're right. I mean, the attention is 1,000% turned to Mike Gundy. And speaking of 1,000, right?
Yeah, Mike says that in just a moment. So Mike Gundy, the Oklahoma State head coach, obviously his first question is going to be why Ollie Gordon comes with you to Media Day. So here from ESPN is Mike Gundy's answer, Rockstar.
We're in a time where you guys are essentially employees. You guys make lots of money to play this game. It's different than it was 5 years ago. And your punishment's going to be facing the facts. That's why we brought him here today. I said, you're not going into hiding. You're going to face the music. You're going to have to stand up and talk to people and answer questions. And hopefully, more than football, you can learn from the situation you've been in. Because if not, then we have a real issue. But he's going to play. And I'm going to do what we think is best for Oklahoma State football. And I think it's best for Ollie to play. If there's any punishment, it's make him carry the ball 50 times in the first game.
All right, first half of the answer, I'm like, yeah, I'm with Mike on this. They are essentially employees of the athletic department now, and you got to face the music, and this is the best place to face the music.
Yep.
I don't
and we
disagree
talked
with
about
any
that
of
was one strategy.
That's right.
And I don't have a problem with that.
Yep, I don't have a problem with that. Then Mike Gundy decided he was just going to say the unsaid parts, like they say
by
the
the way,
quiet parts.
carrying the football 50 times. First of all, we know that's not going to happen against South Dakota State, but I think a guy would much rather carry it 50 times than actually not play.
Now, he was at least honest when he said, I'm going to do what's best for Oklahoma State, and that's him play football. I mean, at least you're honest about that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's honesty.
I still think that there has to be some discipline in the program. And I was trying to think this morning, trying to remember the last time I saw a suspension in college football at a big program. Can you remember? I'm sure there's been some. But it just seems like
a notable suspension.
Well, it seems like the climate we're in right now with the transfer portal, guys really aren't being suspended.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think we would live in a time where one of these guys got a DUI, you have an opportunity against a team you know you're going to beat, and you don't play the guy, or you actually choose not to suspend the guy?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to remember a time recently where a notable player's gotten suspended. I'm racking my brain trying to think of it.
So he has set a precedent now.
He has, yes, he
has.
has.
So when you get arrested, you play. Nothing happens
if
to you.
it's what's best for Oklahoma State, which, I mean, we're not going to argue that the best thing for Oklahoma State is Ollie Gordon playing football. He's maybe the best running back in the country.
Well, I mean, you saw Ollie Gordon not getting touches last year. I think they opened 1-3 and got completely walked off the field by South Alabama.
Yeah. In the MyBookie.ag chat room, Lamb My Believer says, my Lord, 50 carries. What did Derrick Henry have that Iron Bowl one time? It was like 46.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you remember that Iron Bowl?
This is a massive exaggeration when he says 50 carries.
Yeah, that would be punishment, though. I'm going to pull that up. That was 2015 Iron Bowl.
Like, I would think that Ollie Gordon, at least second half of the season, had the most carries in college football.
In that Auburn game.
But I bet he didn't carry it more than 40 times in a game.
Derrick Henry had 46 carries, 271 yards. Yeah, 46 carries. And that was like every play. And Ollie Gordon's going to carry it 50 times. Mike Gundy was not done, though. No, sir. He doubled down. If you think Mike Gundy said that and is like, okay, I've probably said enough about it today. No, he did not. What he said after Lance tells us about one of our new sponsors, CPAP Plus.
Yeah, hey, look, don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus and see what you're buying. Visit any of their three convenient locations. Pelham, Highway 280, now open and trustful for a free CPAP checkup, free filters, no appointment is needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, with mask and supplies in stock every day. Do you need it today? Guess what? They've got it today. They also have travel CPAP mask with over 200 5-star reviews on Google. The folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people they're helping, they're ready to help and they know exactly what's going on. Sign up for the free July giveaway for a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or come into one of those 3 convenient locations of CPAP Plus.
All right, so Mike Gundy has explained to you why he brought Ollie Gordon and what a reasonable punishment would be, and that it's best for Oklahoma State for Ollie Gordon to be carrying the ball 50 times. He said all that, but then he decided to take it a step further. Here he is on the actual podium, this courtesy of ESPN as well, from Big 12 Media Days.
So I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma is 0.08, and Ollie was 0.1. So I looked it up, and it was based on body weight. Not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. And I, it's just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky. Ollie made a decision that he wished he could have done better. But when I talked to Ollie, I told him, I said, "You're lucky. You got out light."
Wow.
I mean,
Look, if we're being completely transparent, I think there are a lot of people that have had a couple of beers and gotten behind the wheel.
well, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Not a great excuse. But for him to come out and say, this has happened thousands of times, and look, there was justification there. That's what he was trying to do.
So a couple things there. Number one, Gundy did not out and out say that he had a couple thousand times. He'd had 4 or 5 beers and driven, 3 or 4 beers and driven, but he insinuated he had, right? Because he said, I got lucky.
Yeah, well, he said, I've done that 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've done it 1,000 times, drink 3 or 4 beers, and I got lucky, which he's, without saying, I drank those beers and drove and didn't get arrested, he's insinuating he drank those beers, drove, and didn't get arrested roughly 1,000 times. So, he's saying that, but to me, so that sounds bad, obviously, but then when you know what is in the arrest report, keep in mind he was arrested, and in his car were 2 open bottles, one of vodka, one of tequila, right?
Well, and again,
vodka mixed with lemonade, to be fair, but still vodka.
This shows me that there is going to be no discipline around the program at all. Like, not only are you saying that Ollie Gordon's going to play, he's not going to be suspended, you're also saying, look, hey, I've done this myself.
Yeah.
Thousands of times.
It's one thing. The thing that frustrated me with Mike Gundy there is he's making it sound like Ollie Gordon went to a local bar, had 3 beers, got in his car and drove, and he was a smidge over the legal limit, 0.8, 0.08 to a 0.1, which that probably is a beer. Is that a beer? Do you know? Would you guess?
It really does depend on body weight.
Mike Gundy looked it up on his phone, he said.
Yeah. I'd rather my coach be, looking at, Arkansas week 2.
That's right. But that could be a beer, right? Or half a beer. I don't know, but whatever. But that is a smidge over the legal limit, like a 0.1, 0.08. It's not a massive difference, right?
Well, look, and you've heard the old line a million times. If you've been drinking, I had 1. Or most people will say I have had 2.
That's right, yeah. And that probably means 3,
but
3
you know
and a
what?
half,
if you're over the legal limit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you're right. You are over the legal limit. But he made it sound like he goes to a bar, has a couple of beers, he's a smidge over the legal limit, gets pulled over driving, and is arrested kind of on a technicality, really. That is not what happened at all. They pull him over, and they find an open bottle of vodka mixed with lemonade and an open bottle of tequila. That's not... Ollie Gordon wasn't at a bar drinking a few beers with buddies and drives home a smidge over the legal limit. He's driving around with 2 open bottles of liquor.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, in the arrest report, not only DUI, did he get open container?
I would think if they're open bottles, that's what it says in the arrest report.
You got to get a citation for that.
So that was my frustration here. Is not.
Well, my frustration is like I've got the back of Mike Gundy when it comes to what he's been able to accomplish from Stillwater.
You've always supported this guy.
But how dumb are you to come out with that statement? That was a prepared statement, basically.
Yeah.
Like he knew where he was going to go
There's
with
no
that.
doubt.
And I guarantee you his representation, can you imagine a couple of guys we know in the business? if their guy said, hey, look, I'm taking our star player to media days, and not only am I going to tell the media that this guy is not going to be suspended, I'm going to double down and say I've done what he did thousands of times.
In the mybookie.ag chat room, Chris H., if this was a walk-on and not the star running back, would he still excuse this behavior?
No, he would not.
No, he would
but
not.
now he's got to.
Yeah, I mean, he said it in the first bite. The best thing for Oklahoma State is Ollie Gordon playing football.
Yeah, look,
he wouldn't say that about a walk-on.
I know we all contradict. We're all hypocrites, but it's going to be really difficult when the next guy gets arrested for whatever, whatever the crime is, for him to come out and say, hey, this guy's suspended.
Pritch Law, law's in his name there, says open container in Alabama is only like a $25 fine. I would have thought more than that. Is that right?
Well, let's just hypothetically say that you're driving me to Tuscaloosa and I've got a Bud Light in my lap and you get pulled over for speeding.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. Caleb says, you wonder if Oklahoma State police will now have routine traffic stops outside Gundy's neighborhood just to see.
It's just like going to any fast food drive-through on a Saturday night at 2 a.m.
Oh.
Chances are they've been drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, you go to any Mexican joint and you walk by the bar and you've got said couple or single guy sitting up there eating and they've got a fishbowl margarita. I don't see a bunch of Ubers pulling up.
Yeah.
It was frustrating the way, to me, Mike Gundy just dismissed it as if he went and had a couple beers. I mean, the guy's driving around with open bottles of liquor in his car. This is different than that.
It blows me away that just because we are in the NIL situation and how easy it is to transfer out, I think that has to do with this 1,000 times. I think if this is a decade ago, I think Gundy suspends him.
Yeah. Rockstar, can you pull the video back up? Because I want to answer a question in the chat room. First, I want to tell you about Greg from Pell City. That's our buddy Greg Nelson. Storm Restoration Roofing is the company. Whether or not you've had storms, and there are storms that have come through recently, if you may just need a new roof, Greg gets on that roof. He'll give you a risk-free evaluation, won't charge you a dime, and he'll be honest with you. We've had members of our audience reach back out and say, Greg told me I didn't need anything. I got 5 more years. So he's not just trying to sell you a roof. He's going to be honest with you. 205-542-3531 is the number. 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. You can also find him on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. In the chat room, they want you to break down his hair.
Let me
Am
say
I a
this.
believer?
First of
What
all,
does LT think of Gundy's hair?
I can't believe how thick it is. Like, he does Dr. B's treatment 3 hours a day on the couch.
I mean, that is a thick head of hair. That's a mane.
I mean,
what did we say yesterday? He's 54 now?
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, it's a mess, but boy, I think everybody would want the thickness, right?
Yeah, I would love that thickness. Now, I would not wear that same style.
No.
But I would love the thickness.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
And Rockstar, go to the other cut. Let's look at the other
But
cut.
I'll tell you,
'cause
he is the
see.
poster boy, especially after the comments yesterday for the hold my beer.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is a guy out there, hold my beer, about to do something, that is Mike Gundy.
Do you think he colors? Because you see the sides.
No.
The sides in the beer are a little bit gray, but that is dark black.
No, I did think he colored maybe last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, if you're not going to do this, if you're going to color, why not do the sides?
Right.
Why
Yeah.
keep those gray?
Yeah. And I'll
Well,
tell you,
that's black hair, though, for a guy that's in his mid-50s. You'll give me that.
he is pale compared to what Mike Gundy typically is.
Yeah, I don't think he's been outside a lot. It doesn't seem.
Yeah, I would take him for a guy that just floats in the lake, just pisses on himself all day, just
That
drinking.
noodle is drenched.
He's got that natural light.
We got to see his house that was for sale.
He is quite the character,
He
man.
is.
I never thought the "I'm a man, I'm 40" soundbite could be beaten, but I don't know, man. Depending on how the rest of his career plays out, I've done it 1,000 times. It's right up there with it.
It is. Luke says to get that thickness, you have to wear that style. You take the deal? You get that thickness, but you got to wear that style.
Nope.
I don't think I take that deal either. I'll keep what I got right now.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
But it is interesting because I've seen guys that have salt and pepper hair, but they've got like full dark beard.
Yeah.
And his beard looks like it's completely gray if he was to grow
I
it
think
up.
he grew it out not long ago, and it was. And it just was a super weird look. Completely. It was white. It was like that gray that is white. All right, we'll come back to Mike. Remind me, please, to come back to Mike Gundy's house. It's online, and it looks like Mike Gundy's house.
I'll tell you, he's become a target, though.
Oh, he has.
And not only if they were to have a really subpar season in this new Big 12, and I think you and I had the discussion the other day, there is no reason Oklahoma State shouldn't be able to dominate this league. Like,
I agree. They ought to be the alpha.
Kansas State, there's other really good teams that are going to be in this league. But your biggest problem winning Big 12 championships, and they played for it last year, was Oklahoma and Texas.
Yep.
And now they're out. But if you were to start losing some games, now that you've got this, there's no discipline in the program. And I say there's no discipline in the program. I mean, I really don't know. All I know is we had a high-profile guy get arrested, and Mike Gundy comes out, brings him to Vegas, and says this guy's not being suspended. And then Double Down says, I do this all the time, or I've done it all the time.
Yeah, 1,000 times in my life I've done this. Listen, not to make light of it, but if you do that, HydroLive can help, right? I mean, that's one of the things they help with. Chip Brown is going to join us next. We'll unveil our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40 team. I bet you can't guess who it is with Chip coming on the show. That is coming up next. We'll also ask Chip about Mike Gundy, a guy he's dealt a lot with. But first, HydroLive.
Our friends at HydroLive want to remind you, you've got IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. You can boost your immune system with HydroLive therapy. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and more. Rewards. Members are rewarded with deep discounts if you get that membership. One free IV bag per month. You basically recoup the IV membership fee in just one visit. HydroLive Therapy, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. 2 locations to serve you, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also, Tuscaloosa. Make sure you mention the next round, 20% off any of those great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Chip Brown hooks the horns next on the next round.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter @jlunce.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
We continue on the next round. Chip Brown coming up. We'll unveil our 40 and 40 team. Chip is going to join us. We'll talk some Texas to the SEC with him. Again, Dunaway is on the road for the MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. He lost the bracket this year. He is on the road today, having to hit 3-pointers from 5 Division I gyms. He is starting in Auburn, and that will start in the next segment when he joins us from on the road at Neville Arena trying to hit those 3-pointers. Inverness Country Club, one of the great country clubs around here, and they got a membership drive going on.
Oh, they've got some great stuff. You hear me, Brown, mention Aaron, right?
Yes, I do.
You are a regular at Walk-Ons.
That is correct.
Out where we live.
Yep.
The great bartender, Jason.
Super nice guy. Nicest guy you'll find.
You know, his girlfriend is Aaron.
That is right.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Anyway,
until
we were in
recently.
last night, me and young Jack,
Yeah.
and we loved sitting at the bar and talking to Jason, just a great dude. And we were talking about Inverness Country Club. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that will fit everyone, from the social, including a resort-style pool complex, the golf, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Childcare, also a big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They even have a vineyard club. Take a tour today of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608, or online, ICCalabama.com.
All right, we have been doing it for almost 40 shows now. Our 40 and 40, we do it every single summer. 93 voters from our audience voted, and they picked this team number 3. It is the MyBookie.ag 40 and 40. Scott unveils it. The Texas Longhorns in at number 3. We'll break down Texas right now with our buddy Chip Brown, Horns247, at Chip Brown 247. Excuse me.
He's coughing out. Chip, welcome back into the next round. Yeah, look, I don't know what, man. You put some kind of
Ryan all choked
you
up.
You did, Chip.
You hexed him there. Chip, I thought about this morning, and I thought it was going to be an interesting topic. And you've got your hand squarely on the pulse when it comes to all things Texas athletics. But if Texas was to roll into the SEC year one, win the SEC, and ultimately win a national championship, would that be the greatest accomplishment in Texas sports history?
I mean, it probably would be. Outside of beating that USC team for the national championship in 2005, I have to say that would probably top the 2005 national championship, simply because Texas will have endured the gauntlet of the SEC. They will, depending on how that, if they beat Michigan, take down the defending national champ on the road, handle the SEC schedule and win a national championship, yeah, I think that would go to number 1.
And listen, fan expectations are almost always for this at big schools, but is that the fan expectation coming into the SEC? It seems to be the way it is painted over here, Chip. Is that's what Texas fans are expecting to happen?
Well, I think Texas fans are sort of uncertain about what's going to happen. It's you hear so much about the SEC schedule and the week in and week out ness of it and the physicality, and Texas fans know they've got Oklahoma followed by Georgia, and that is a monster back-to-back for Texas fans. They know how physical that OU game is. They know how good Georgia is. So, I think they're probably still in they're glowing from the Big 12 championship and going to the college football playoff, but I still think there's enough whiplash from the last 15 years that they don't expect, they hope for the best.
Chip, I've got to see it in back-to-back years, and I know people are going to think it's idiotic that I don't think Texas can do it. I think they're going to be really good. But when you look at Sarkisian, and I do think he's a better coach now, but in 10 seasons at Washington, USC, and Texas, He's coming off his only double-digit win season. And you lose the likes of Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell and Jonathan Brooks, and not to mention two guys off that defensive line that were completely dominant, that really won that Alabama game for Texas in Tuscaloosa, and Sweat and Murphy. I mean, is this roster that loaded where you can just replace studs like that?
Well, I think they have, done a good job of replacing the skill talent. And you guys, y'all know better than anyone. I mean, Isaiah Bond and Amari Niblack are part of that. But you said it, Lance. I mean, if you look back at Clemson winning their national championships, they had Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence. You look at Georgia's back-to-back national championships, they had Devontae Wyatt and Jalen Carter. And, those monster defensive tackles are total game changers. And they have Alfred Collins, who is a fifth-year senior who played really well last year. I mean, he was part of that number 3 ranked run defense. They brought in Bill Norton, who used to be at Georgia and Arizona. They got to hope that guy is as good as he was last year, and I think they'll be okay. They brought in, 3 defensive tackles from the transfer portal, all of whom are, able and qualified and capable. But when you're putting those kind of pieces together, you got to have the chemistry, you got to have the culture. And Sarkisian's brought in more transfers than he has at any time. He's brought in 10 and 3 on the defensive line. So, the chemistry between Quinn Ewers and the new receivers is a question mark. I think their running back room is loaded. I mean, Jaden Blue, CJ Baxter, those two behind the veteran, 4 starters back on the offensive line. I think Texas' running game will be fine, and that means that the play action should be there. So offensively, I think they'll be okay. Defensively, they've got some questions right up the middle of the defense. They lose 2-time all-conference, first-team middle linebacker Jalen Ford. Now it's Anthony Hill. Anthony Hill is a monster. I mean, he's the best tackler on the team. He picks people up and plants them on their head. He's super physical, super athletic, do-it-all kind of linebacker, kind of like Harold Perkins for LSU. And I think they're going to move him around, but that's a lot on him for a sophomore. So that's a question, and the secondary needs to be a lot better than they were a year ago. They brought in Andrew Makuba from Clemson. They brought in Javion Cole, the highest-rated returning corner in the SEC, according to Pro Football Focus from San Jose State. So they need a lot of things to come together. If they do, I think Texas is absolutely in the mix for the SEC championship and a national championship.
Chip Brown is with us, Horns247 at 247, or Chip Brown 247 on Twitter. I want to shift gears a little bit with you, Chip. We talk a lot of Texas with you. We'll see you in Dallas next week, and we'll do it again. But I want to dig back into your past Big 12 days, way back when you used to cover the Big 12 conference. And yesterday, Mike Gundy was there, and he made the decision to bring Ollie Gordon to Arlington, and he made a decision to answer questions, and it did not come off great for Mike Gundy. You've been around this guy. You've talked to this guy. Were you surprised at his decision to do this and the way he came off in his comments?
Mike Gundy, his give an F meter is so low. Like, he just doesn't care. And he says whatever's on his mind. And, I always found Gundy refreshing that way. And you're right. I mean, he probably failed the media day test for a coach of his stature and years. But I think everybody, when they stopped and probably took a second, said, well, he's just being honest. And we probably have all, been in that situation. And so, I mean, was I surprised? No, I laughed. It's probably not funny either, but I was taken aback by his hair. I mean, he's just got that thing stacked up so high now.
That's what we talked about. It's so good, yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, the guy's got hair.
And dark.
For days.
It's dark.
Oh, yeah. So, Gundy has always just been so entertaining. But, yeah, I mean, wow, that happened.
Now, was he a guy that was a disciplinarian in the past? I mean, is this a new NIL transfer portal kind of thing where he feels like really can't discipline these kids anymore? Because I would have just thought a DUI with a high-profile player like Ollie Gordon would at least end in suspension for one game, and especially when you open with South Dakota State.
Yeah, he's had to come around on NIL. I mean, he was not a fan in transfer portal at first, and then he got on board. He brought in Alan Bowman and brought in guys. And so, Gundy's, he can be a little rigid, and it can get in his way. I mean, think about this. He's had the better team. He has the longest winning streak in Austin over Texas of any team. 5 straight wins in Austin. I mean, he had Texas's number. He was terrible against Oklahoma. I think it was like 2-15. And so you're like, okay, with Oklahoma gone, Oklahoma State, 21 starters back, like this should be a big-time year for them. They should win the Big 12, in my opinion. And so, his relationship with his players has always been a little bit of an enigma. Remember when he had that conservative T-shirt and his, Chuba Hubbard was like, this is not okay. And then he kind of worked it out with his team, and he's always, been on the winning side of things, but he only has one conference championship in 2011, and he had better teams than that. So I'm very interested to see what Gundy can do now that Oklahoma primarily is out of the conference, because that guy had the better team than Oklahoma on multiple occasions, and he was still like 2-15.
I mean, they should become the alpha of what's left behind, right?
Yeah, they should, because he's always had a good staff. They've found those players under the radar. They had Kelvin Banks committed first. Kelvin Banks, now the stud left tackle at Texas. They do a really good job of identifying players, getting on them early, establishing the relationship. Think of all the players, he's had that have gone to the NFL, from Des Bryant to Tyreek Hill, to the running backs. And he's the alpha in that group, and let's see if he's truly adapting to the NIL transfer portal era, because he's a good coach, and he's always had good staff, good offensive coordinators who've gone on to be head coaches. Kevin Sumlin, Dana Holgerson. I mean, he's had an unbelievable number of offensive coordinators who've gone on to become head coaches. And then he would go find these defensive coordinators at Shippensburg, like Mike Yursich, and you're like, wow, okay. I mean, Gundy, he knows what he's doing. Let's see if he can cash it in now.
We saw the interesting welcome Texas to the SEC party last week. I mean, that was pretty insane. And I saw one little soundbite from Feinbaum, and I never heard anything else about it. I assume he was somewhat joking when he said he fully expects Arch Manning to be the starting quarterback at the end of the year.
So the question was, who will be the quarterback at the end of the year, not by the end of the year. So I think Feinbaum kind of got taken out of context there. I mean, he was implying, well, yeah, Quinn Ewers is going to move on to the NFL. It'll be Arch Manning after this season, going into next. But it's the Quinn Ewers show. I mean, Steve Sarkisian has made it clear it is Quinn Ewers' team, and unless the guy just takes a serious left turn, he'll be the starter all of this year, and then it'll be the Arch Manning show.
All right, he is Chip Brown, Chip Brown 247 on Twitter, Horns 247, part of the 24/7 sports team there. We will see you in Dallas next week, Chip. Always fun talking to you.
Hey, see you next week, fellas. Safe travels.
All right, buddy. You too. Take care. Chip with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. All right, Texas, our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40. We're about to take a look at their schedule. I will be interested to see where Lance thinks this lands. Probably favored in at least 11 games. That Georgia game's kind of the tricky one there. We'll talk about that in a second. But MyBookie.ag is where you can play all those games when they roll around. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Do not forget code NEXTROUND to get that sign-on bonus at MyBookie.ag. A revamped loyalty program, customer loyalty, and VIP program as well. MyBookie.ag code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag code NEXTROUND. Lance, when you look at their schedule, at Michigan,
yeah, there's some
interesting
potential
game week 2.
landmines. I think Michigan could be a favorite in that game.
Could be.
So, you mentioned 11 games. Texas could be favored in all 12 games.
Even over Georgia, you think?
They could be. Yeah, I mean, if Texas goes into the big house and just completely dusts Michigan, they win by double digits over Oklahoma, Georgia's maybe already got a loss with Alabama, I could see Texas be a favorite in that game. But at the same time, I could see them be a dog to Michigan, dog in that Georgia game. And then at the end of the year, depending on how good A&M is on the road in College Station.
Yeah, you've circled that game a while back. Like that could be a playoff spot on the line.
I just don't know what to think, man. I saw Texas pull a Houdini, and they were able to get out of there with Malik Murphy against Kansas State. You know this with Sarkisian.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing this a long time, and he's got one double-digit win season.
That's right. Hard to buy in.
And when you lose all of the talent that they lost, and I understand he's done a really good job of recruiting there the last couple of years, I just I don't know. With this full SEC schedule, to me, Texas is fascinating. I think they find a way to go 10-2. They probably get back to a college football playoff, but I think they've got a couple of losses on the schedule.
MyBookie.ag brings you our 40 and 40. They will bring you Dunaway's bracket bet payoff, which is going to start after this break. As we go to break, a reminder, Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. They've repriced both those lots, and they are so confident in their pricing that they will match any price you find nationwide. That is their guarantee on a comparable RV. Also, RV Warranty Forever gives you lifetime warranty on anything new and used that qualifies right there at Johnston RV Center. Rockstar, just go ahead and pull it up. I want you to know the preview. Let me finish this. Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com. Dunaway is already in Neville Arena. Let's just go there now. We were about to go to a break, but let's just go now. He's out on the court.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of urgency.
Yeah, not a lot of security either. Can anybody hear it? Little T or Dunaway, can anybody hear us right now?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Little T, he just walked in the door. This was not set up at all, Little T. Be honest with us.
No. This was not set up.
So it's not set up at all?
No. This is not set up.
Brown, I will go 20.
We're getting very lucky.
The first 3 attempt is an air ball.
First 3 attempt is air ball. Dunaway from the top of the key, 4-3. I think that drew iron, didn't it? Drew iron. All right, Dunaway. MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. Did that go? Did that hit, Taylor?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's so close.
I mean, this could not have gone any better on stop 1. I mean, a Neville Arena just flat unlocked. Oh, close again. He's 0 for 3, Lance, but he's staying at the top of the key. I'm kind of nervous.
Oh.
You really can't. I mean, it's hard to see where ball is.
Oh.
I'm just going on.
I know
Taylor's
that one
reactions.
does. Yeah.
MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. Dunaway going to go to the wing now.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Taylor every time.
Quite literally. We walked right in.
I know. I saw that.
If he does have a heart attack chasing down all these bricks, we'll wave off the challenge.
You want to try the other end of the court?
You want to try the other end of the
that'd be
court.
better.
We hear voices. We hear voices.
Oh no! Hurry, Dunaway. Oh, God.
Taylor, you guys you've got 24 hours. It's not like you're in a hurry.
We hear voices. She says
until someone walks out.
God, Dunaway, man.
He's like 0 for 50.
He's had so many open looks.
Yeah, really.
Dunaway, can we get a sense of urgency, please?
Well, if somebody would help him on the rebounds, it would probably.
We're both filming.
This is embarrassing.
I'll start rebounding. Hold on.
Well, you got to shoot too.
No. Yeah, we need your commentary too.
I like your commentary.
That was so close. That was so close.
My
Sorry.
gosh.
You can tell he's so winded.
Dunaway, this is it.
Taylor says this is it. Almost fell.
He is winded. How are you winded shooting basketball by yourself?
Is somebody coming in?
Oh my gosh.
Did somebody walk in?
Oh, I wish he'd get thrown out right now.
Huh? Security?
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Oh, no. What's oh, no, Taylor? What are you saying, oh, no?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. There were some people
please
up in
throw him out right now.
Oh,
Dunaway.
that went long.
How incredible would it be if they ran him out right now?
I'd love it. I mean, he's got like 15 shots off.
Wait, they're bringing more people out to watch.
Who is?
Oh no, he's a spectacle.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. There are people up there.
Right, and they're watching y'all. Are they like talking?
Yes, they just are laughing.
Oh, they're laughing.
And I think getting their friends to come out.
I'm at 0 for 14.
He's 0 for 14.
Oh, you've been counting. MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. Oh, that was almost in.
Oh,
Come on, Dunaway.
I like when the long rebound where he's got to go get it.
He's got to hustle up.
That's what I want. 14 more misses, and then I want security.
Okay, EG's gonna start rebounding.
Okay. Oh, that was so close. Okay.
Oh my
God, that's awful.
Jeez, this is a disaster.
We need to get a
Well, I mean, he is a hex in every arena of life.
Oh, where's the Dunaway? You got the money ball yet? Are we to the red, white, and blue ball? Oh, did that go, or was that an air ball?
That was an air ball.
No,
it got a
It hit
little
the
net.
net.
Little net.
Okay, he's just gonna do some little
You
warm up.
got to see one go in. Yeah, you got to see one go
to
in.
the basket.
He's already.
Okay,
it's
come
like.
on.
All right, there's layup, missed free
Dunaway,
throw.
focus.
This is like triple overtime for him. His legs are dead already.
Focus,
You guys are
Dunaway.
gonna have to ice him down in the car.
Dunaway for three.
Oh.
Did that go?
Nope.
Hey.
Nope. Oh, so close. I think
Okay,
top.
you got it.
He's 0 of 18.
Who?
Aiden Holloway.
Aiden, wow. Little Aiden Holloway shot. Don't forget, you got to go to Tuscaloosa later, Jim.
Oh, God.
That
hit
was
net.
basically an air ball too. 0 for 19.
Dunaway, just take a second and get your mind right.
Hey, remind him he's 0 of 19, Taylor. This is
Okay, 0
impossible.
19.
Oh.
Okay.
It's getting weaker too.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, how long do we stick with this?
I did not see this coming.
I didn't either.
Like, I thought there could be some hiccups.
He just said he thought he was going to go 5 for 5.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was close right there.
He's over
I
20
think
now.
he's better from the top of the key. I think that's his best spot.
0 for 21.
Just granny shot it.
Poor EG's having to get in on the action now.
Oh, EG's going to be exhausted.
Nobody's going to need cardio after today.
We've lost the crowd now.
Yeah, the crowd laughed.
Yeah.
You got curfew probably.
Oh
Air
my
ball.
gosh! We are going to have to go to break at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, Taylor, will you get up and let us hear Dunaway's voice just to hear how tired he is just from shooting basketball by himself?
Yeah. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. This is the end.
Oh, my God. He was so close.
MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. Dunaway's got to hit one of these. That's an air ball.
0 for 25. 0 for 25.
Those are Shaq numbers.
No, Shaq would have made one.
Oh, he'd have banked one in. Bank it in, Jim. Just bank it in.
Oh,
I mean,
we have some people.
Oh,
Good.
where, Taylor?
Please,
Where?
Please,
Where?
please
Right
throw him
here,
out.
right there.
Are they on the floor,
Oh, my
Taylor?
God.
Are they upstairs?
Yes.
27.
Yes, they're just looking.
Are
they're
they?
right.
Do
They
they
just walked by right there.
Do they seem in good
They
spirits?
Yes, they just
Okay.
looked and
Okay.
kept going.
So no
They're
security.
adorable.
That's 0 for 28.
I really thought the hardest part would be him getting in. There it is. He drained it. He's in. What was it? 1 for 29. 1 for 29.
How do you feel?
How you feel?
How do you feel, Dunaway?
1 for 29.
And winded.
We never figured out what the hardest part of this would be.
Which is you
Me
shooting?
making shots.
Did you find that ball in a random backyard?
He stole it from a kid.
All right.
Okay.
Dunaway has got one. Uh-oh. Who's this? Oh, this is.
That's all.
Sit down and watch it play.
That's all. I was 1 for 29.
She's like, I thought Tony Barbie left.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, Dunaway's got
All
one
right.
under the belt on his way to Alabama State. You guys be careful, little T.
Have fun with it,
Yeah,
Taylor.
All right.
We'll see you in a little bit. All right. MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. Dunaway tried to pay it off. He's going to need Hydrolive. That's what he's going to need. We're going to have to get some liquid, some fluids in him when he gets back.
We
up
talked about that yesterday. He should have got hydrated up. You can do it right now. Head into one of those 3 locations, 2 here in Birmingham, 1 in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, also Tuscaloosa. Make sure you mention the next round. You're going to get 20% off any of the great services from the IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy. It's all under one roof. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Ask about the memberships as well. You basically recoup that IV membership in just one visit. They're open daily, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
All right, more from the road with Dunaway, the mybookie.ag bracket bet payoff, and plenty more coming up on the next round.
Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
We were discussing what would be the worst case scenario for Little T and EG having to survive this road trip. I mean, the shooting was awful, but as far as time, that could not have gone any better right there.
Yeah.
I was stunned how easily he got Neville Arena.
What would have been a disaster, though, is because they took so long once they were in there, if he would have gotten thrown out.
Well, yeah, you shoot 28 times and don't get a 3 out of it. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
I mean, percentage-wise, that's nearly impossible.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
1 of 29.
Yeah.
I mean, to miss 28 straight? I guess the Rockets did it in Game 6 or Game 7 against Golden State in the Western Conference Finals.
Forster's going to be doing a shot chart, so he's going to be pretty busy for the next couple minutes. But I know he made a layup, and he missed I think he airballed a free throw.
He did the free throw not touch anything?
No.
I thought it touched side rim.
Oh, I just remember he just tried to lay up to get warmed up, and then.
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many of you commenting in the mybookie.ag chat room that we're not going to be able to keep up with them all. I was going to try to give credit to whoever said this, but somebody said at this rate he's going to be picked 59th by the Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, him and Bronny shoot it about the same.
It was what are we at 3.4%? Is that what we've done? And Lunceford is right. You were there, Lance. We are all better at the squadron than this. Every one of us. And we were shooting from NBA range then.
Oh, yeah.
That was a much longer shot, NBA range. Chris, has he ever shot a basketball before? Elliot.
Doesn't look like it.
Elliot, only 4 more gems, Jim. Will he go? All right. Well, there's no way.
No.
Set the odds on this. Hemphill, lock of the day.
Yeah, okay.
Lock of the day. Set the odds on this. There's no way he has a worse shooting performance than he just had at any of these other 4 stops.
Impossible.
It's got to be, right?
Absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think it will be hard for him to go a stretch of missing 10-plus straight.
Yeah. 0 of 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I bet.
Blake's got a great Philip Seymour Hoffman when he was like, let it rain.
Raindrops.
Yeah. And was just clanking them. But at least he was hitting something. Dunaway couldn't even get it. Like, I mean, most of them were coming short, right?
I know.
I think 20 of the 29 were way short.
Do you think I think top of the key is his best spot, though, right? That's where it looked like he was most comfortable.
Most comfortable?
I mean, look, he had to be most comfortable.
We should have gotten him a women's ball.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
He wouldn't have known the difference.
Lock of the day, Hemphill lock. Lance's lock is Dunaway will not go 0 for 29 on another side.
2 plays up right now, lanceslock.com. Our friends at Hemphill, though, trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your heating, cooling, and plumbing issues. Whether you experience any of these in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Walker says it looked like his feet were on the line.
Did.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to say it because I know I was going to be the bad guy. Walker's right there. If you go back and look at it,
yeah, foot on the line.
I think his foot was on the line.
After review, it's only a 2.
I mean,
how pissed would he get if we called and said that one did not catch?
Just around the thing. I mean, let's check it out.
Is this it? Is this the game winner right here?
Yeah, I think this is it. Watch.
Okay, all right.
I think right foot goes online.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, should we call him?
Yeah. Celebration.
I'm kind of with Walker. Look, should we make him turn around?
Guys, I don't.
Troy says yes. I mean, a bet is a bet, right?
I mean, I'm watching again. Hang on, I'm watching. Let me zoom in here. I'm in the review center.
I mean, you got to take it to control center.
Yeah, I'm in the review center. Here, I'm going to full screen this, Lance. We're going to watch it together right here. Ooh, I think he's behind the line. I'm not just being nice. I think he's behind the line. Here you go. It's coming up right here.
Yeah, it's too close to call.
It's too close.
He was behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I could. If I'm in the review center, Rockstar, I can't with good conscience.
Overturn
I can't wipe that one off.
Yeah.
Got to give it to the kid.
Give it to, I mean, the kid was 0 of 28. Let's give him 1.
Curly can play.
My gosh.
I would say that is actually probably bad viewing for people to have to sit through that. But the more I think about it, it's really not.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think the mybookie.ag chat room loved every minute of that.
Absolutely incredible.
It's still theirs. Loved every minute of that one. All right, so he's on his way to Alabama State next. Montgomery, it's roughly, I guess, an hour or so from Neville. So coming up in probably the final hour, we'll get another check-in from the road there on the mybookie.ag bracket bet payoff. You'll have to follow the last 3 on social media at Next Round Live. I'm going to say they'll go live every time from the arena. Do you think that's the plan, Rockstar? Have you heard from anybody?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
you have to, especially for the last one, to get that last one done.
Yeah.
I think we're going live as long as we're on the air.
Yeah,
and
but
then
I think they'll go live on social media. Yeah.
I thought the plan was they were going to go live for the last challenge.
Okay, last
maybe
challenge
they've
is
changed
Sanford.
it.
Okay. So just pay attention on social media at Next Round Live. Make sure you always follow us at Next Round Live, and you'll see everything there. Now, Dunaway was able to pull this off because of Way to Wellness, right? I mean, we all accept that had Dunaway.
Without it, he's in the grave.
I know, he might have died 0 of 29, but thankfully Jim has gotten healthier with Leslie and her board-certified staff at Way to Wellness. Planforme.com. Planforme.com is the website. The reason is it is a plan for you. It is not some cookie-cutter plan that everybody uses. They develop a plan specifically for you. They're at Way to Wellness, planforme.com. Go by for a risk-free and absolutely free consultation where Leslie and her staff evaluate you, look at all your numbers, and see if they can do what they've done for so many of our staff members Dunaway, Lunceford, Melton, and that's help you lose weight the healthy way and get a healthier lifestyle. Way to Wellness. aplanforme.com is the first place to start. aplanforme.com. Buster coming up in the next hour. More on the next round after this.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Our friends at Longuse Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longuse offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longuse offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longuse sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longuse has to offer you.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we continue on the next round. 1 hour in the books and one gem in the books for Dunaway on the MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff. They are on their way to Alabama State. We'll get that to you in the final hour there. See if he. We were asked. All right, so he's 1 of 29.
Yep.
We were asking the break, what do you think his final numbers will be? Will it be better or worse than 5 of 100?
Well, so basically you're going, yeah, it has to be. I mean, 4 of 71 coming up, there's no way.
I mean, Rick Allen could do better.
I just saw him go 1 of 29. I think anything's possible.
I still think he's going to average about 1 and 7 now. So I think it's going to be around 60.
Okay.
5 for 60.
5 for 60. So you say well under 5 of 100. Do you think 5 of 60?
Which might have been Shaquille O'Neal's three-point percentage in his history. I doubt he took 60.
Probably better than Edey, right? Edey was 0 of 2 his entire Purdue career, I believe. So he's at least shooting better than him, percentage-wise. I mean, I thought the hardest part of all of that was going to be getting in Neville Arena. I really thought that's where Dunaway screwed up.
Yeah, I thought it would be 3 or 4 shots. One would go down, run out.
I thought they were going to get shut out of Neville Arena, like he was going to have to beg his way in there somehow. They just walked right in. That's what I thought was going to be the hardest part. I never dreamt actually shooting.
Well, that was the hiccup. I didn't know if it would be at Neville or not, but I figured that one of these 5 arenas would not be open.
Yeah, I mean he's got he's got one under his belt already. That could not have gone any better. Like, I really thought Jacksonville State was on the table just based on him picking Neville Arena out of the chute.
I feel pretty certain. Somebody says Stevie Wonder could hit at least 1 of 29. I think you could blindfold me and I could do 1 of 29.
Yeah, I really do think so too. It's sad.
Blindfolded, you think you could hit better 3 before you miss 29 of them?
Yep.
Interesting.
I think I could hit more. I would hit. Give me 29 attempts, half-court shots, I could hit more than...
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
With or without a blindfold, yeah.
That's bad.
Do you think... So let me just ask you this. You would have to, line yourself up and look at the basket, and then we blindfold you.
Yeah.
Okay. We can't just drop you in a gym blindfolded and you make a 3.
No, that'd be tough.
We're in a gym. Sounds like we're outside.
No. It's really...
man.
They've got goals up. Trust me, they've got goals up. All right, Texas is our MyBookie.ag 40-40 team today. Andy Staples, and Rockstar loves this conversation because we've had it before on the show. Andy Staples yesterday, he was talking on his show Monday about college football blue bloods, and he mentioned a team we've already talked about this week in Oregon and how they would become a blue blood. Now, look, blue blood it's a fluid definition, like what I consider a blue blood, you might not. What even makes you a blue blood? There's some that you would absolutely agree on.
Yeah,
and
it's very subjective.
Yeah,
I mean,
subjective.
we know that Michigan, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, USC, those are blue bloods.
Yeah.
I don't believe Florida State, Florida, Miami, any of those are blue bloods.
Well, Andy tried to attack it and said, here's who I absolutely believe are college football blue bloods, for whatever this is worth.
How many are there? Tell me that real quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that he says. Let me count that again. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9. I counted different numbers twice. I'm shooting Dunaway style.
As you count, I feel certain
7, 8, 9. 9. It is
all
9.
9 of these are in the Big Ten and the SEC.
Well, they are now. Well, one independent. You know who that is.
Yeah.
But, they are now.
Yeah.
They weren't before, but they are now,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oklahoma and Texas.
And you agree with both those?
Yeah.
Okay.
USC.
Absolutely.
We've got Notre Dame. That's 4.
That is correct.
Alabama.
Correct.
Georgia.
Yep.
5, 6. I don't even know would we have considered Georgia blue blood before Kirby?
You know, and that's the thing. I think they have played their way into that.
Because I said that so quickly.
I know.
Not meaning
and
to.
And it's based on 3 total national championships. Is that right? 1980 and then the 2 recent ones. Aren't that that's the only 3 they've got, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's why, if Ryan Day's a little more aggressive, if John Mechie doesn't go out, or Jamison Williams, I should say.
Their unclaimed national titles include one in 1968, but their actual claimed national titles are 42, 80, 21, and 22. So since World War II, they've won 3 national championships. 881 wins, 666 win percentage. I mean, they may be the most debatable of them, but he includes them in a blue blood, and you said it very quickly.
Does he consider LSU a blue blood?
He does not.
Okay. Who are the other SEC?
He has got in the Southeastern Conference.
You can't have Florida. I know he played there.
Yeah, Andy did play there, but he is realistic about it. In the Southeastern Conference, Andy has Alabama, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Texas.
Okay.
In the Big Ten.
Oh, here we go.
He's got Ohio State, USC, Penn State, and Michigan. And then the independent is Notre Dame.
I can.
Do you agree with those?
I can go with that, yeah. I mean, the Georgia is really the interesting one for me. Because blue blood doesn't necessarily mean you have to be good right now, to me.
But yeah, the term blue blood. Rockstar historically, do you know this? Like, I think we started talking about blue bloods like wealthy people back in England. Am I right about that?
That
English
sounds right.
blue bloods, but so those are people that were old money, right?
The phrase blue blood originates from an old sentiment that aristocratic blood was blue. Normally you describe royal family members.
Yeah. So this was like old money. That's the way I've always considered blue blood.
Did you never hear that, though, about, like as a kid, I always heard the blood is blue until it hits oxygen.
Yeah. So all of our blood is blue, really. So we're all blue bloods.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, you don't think it's true?
No.
There's really no way to test it, though. Has that been disproven?
Well, I'm going to call Dunaway.
No, I'm just saying.
He's got wristbands.
The only way you can test it is to get blood out and it hits oxygen at that
but
point.
you've
Well, it's
got,
just like saying like you don't have.
you've got robotics now that actually
Yeah.
the minimal invasive surgical procedures.
Right.
You've got cameras in there. You can see it.
So blue blood, I mean, the definition of blue blood would be old money, like people that have been doing this, the aristocrats, a very, very long time. And that's why Georgia becomes really difficult to put there. Like Alabama has been doing this since the 20s. Michigan, Ohio State, they've been doing it since the 20s. USC has been doing this a very, very long time. Like, I'm not even certain about Penn State. I don't know how to put Penn State up there.
I would have probably. I mean, you just go through the Joe Paterno days, and I know all that's been tainted since.
Yeah.
But I grew up where it seemed like Penn State was a blue blood. Now, again, that's why I bring up the point that you don't necessarily have to win right now. I mean,
Right.
USC's not playing like a blue blood. I don't think Penn State, based on their inability to beat top tens, has played like a blue blood.
I want to come back to Texas. I brought this up because we're talking about Texas Day, and I want to come back to them. But let's just hit the contenders real quick because you mentioned some of these. He said, here are contenders. And I guess in Andy's world, you could play your way into the blue blood level. Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Nebraska, Miami, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, and Oregon.
Yeah, Nebraska, let's start there. Don't you believe?
There was a day.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the 90s. Nebraska is one of your top 5 blue bloods, right?
And Andy says this. He's got a write-up about each of these. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers were absolutely blue bloods until the past decade and a half of irrelevance. Push them off the list. I mean, when Tom Osborne was there, that Nebraska was historically one of the probably 5 best programs in college football history. I mean, they won a lot of games, even back to Bob Devaney's era before Tom Osborne.
So we considered, going back late 80s, 90s, a lot of these teams blue bloods. And so we're talking 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. How long does it take teams to actually get on there? Like Clemson, I never would have considered a blue blood.
Not at all. And Dabo has put them in the discussion, but I don't think they're there. I mean, LSU really wasn't until Nick Saban got there. I mean, what had LSU done? They won a championship back in the 50s, but they were
Billy Cannon.
Yeah, they were a pretty mediocre program for a very long time. Florida State was a women's program until Bobby Bowden got there and actually started a football program or brought it to prominence. Miami was nothing until Howard Schnellenberger. So I guess in Florida, I go back to this stat a lot. I think 1987, if I've got the year right, Florida beat Auburn and they had it elevated them to number 1 in the nation. They had never been number 1 until that point. Think about that. As good as Florida's program got under Spurrier and Urban Meyer, I don't think they had ever been number 1 in the nation until 1987.
I think it was 84.
Was it 84?
Well,
but my point was it was in the 80s.
Yeah,
I
think, and somebody in the chat room can remind me, but I think that's when Galen Hall had them on probation. And I think they went undefeated. And I think they did get some number 1 votes during that season.
Yeah.
I think.
But think about,
because that was the season ultimately BYU won the national championship.
Yeah. Think about how crazy that is, though, Lance, that Florida, what Florida has become, and they were not even number 1 in the country a single time until the 1980s.
Okay, but when did Florida State get their first number 1 vote?
I bet it was before 84. I'm gonna look.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Florida never got to number 1 that year. They got to number 3 when they beat Florida State because they started the year with a loss to Miami and a tie to LSU.
Okay.
So they kind of started.
Oh, see, I thought that Florida team went undefeated.
I'm sure they had to vacate anything they won. 85 was the year I was talking about. They beat Georgia and got to number 1. Or no, I'm sorry. They were number 1 and lost to Georgia. They beat Auburn, got to number 1. That was the year I was talking about, 85. So that was the first time they'd ever reached number 1 in the country. What'd you say, Florida State? I can tell you with Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, I would say Florida State was like 87, 88.
Tell us about Dr. B real quick while I look this up. But I'll look up Florida State because once Bobby Bowden got them to number 1, they hit number 1 an awful lot.
Boy, they did, and they hovered around a long time.
Yeah.
Dr. B, not only taking care of me, he's taking care of Brown as well. Dr. Beckstein, best in the business. When I started to thin out, asked around, everyone said Dr. B is the guy you need to go see. He takes pride treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Coach Bowden, I'm all the way through, what did I say was 85 for Florida? I'm all the way through 83, and he didn't have them number one at that point. So I guess you're going to be right about this. I always envisioned them hitting number one before that.
I think it was like 87, 88.
Before he ever did that?
Yeah.
He had them in the national championship. I mean, they would be a top 5 team but never until the late 80s now ever hit number one. And I'm surprised at that. Like, I think back, Lance, and remember them like 85, 86 being number one in the country at some point. But no, man, as I look, and you know what used to play Coach Bowden for a little while was like those bowl games at the end. So they started the year number one. They were preseason number one in 1988, Florida State was. They play at number 6 Miami, and they got beat 31-0 in the Orange Bowl that night on CBS.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
I know that's Florida State and Miami. Can you imagine, though, if somebody in the Florida-Miami game wins or loses 31-0?
I mean, it'd have to be Miami, right?
Well, if Miami was to win 31-0, two narratives, Napier's already done. Like,
They might fire him that night.
Can we go on and get a replacement? And on the other side, Miami is back. Now, if you flip that around, Cristobal is the guy that Miami fans probably tap out on after week one.
Yeah, if they lost 31-0, I think either coach is a walking dead man.
But if you're a Florida fan, then you're probably like, damn, this schedule's tough, but maybe we're going to be a lot better than advertised.
Yeah.
I don't see that happen. I think it's going to be a really good game.
But, man, think about that. You start the season number one, you're playing at Miami, and you lose 31-0. How stunning that game was.
The first time you've ever been number one in the program.
Yeah, how do you handle that? Well, we lost 31-0. Now, they didn't lose another game that year, but they got blitzed 31-0. And I'm with Troy in the mybookie.ag chat room. Those old Florida State-Miami games, man, I missed those.
Oh, they were incredible.
I can't remember what I was watching the other day, and they were recapping, those missed field goals that played
the wide right all
the time. And Florida State was in position to win all those games. And it was the one that was at the Orange Bowl, and I'm not going to remember the year, but Florida State returned the opening kickoff, if you remember, for a touchdown. And then they played toe-to-toe with Miami that whole game. They've got a shot at the field goal at the end to win it, and wide right. And that was what played Coach Bowden in those games. In case you're wondering what Andy thinks Auburn would have to do to become a blue blood, sustained success, an era for a full era before they could be considered. Tennessee, if they got a third national championship, he said he would start considering them. Neyland had one, Fulmer had one, and if Heupel could win a third, he said Oregon just win a national title. I think Oregon would have to do more than that. Oregon's new money.
I do think you've got to win a championship, but I think there's something about there's the intangibles too. There's the fan base. There's the stadium.
Yeah.
There's just
a lot of things.
The history of the program. I mean, when you go to a big game in Knoxville, they feel like a blue blood.
I agree with you. Yeah, a big game in Neyland Stadium feels like, it's important to everyone, obviously. Right, Scott, could you pop it back up? Here's Andy Staples on 3 Sports. This is his list of blue bloods and contenders, because I want you to look at the list of blue bloods again. I brought this up because we're talking about Texas today. Would you make the argument, if Andy is right on those 9, okay, would you make the argument that Texas has done the least to be in that group? That they're the least accomplished team in that group? Could you make that argument?
I guess you could, because I would say,
well, you certainly know they're
Texas, Georgia, Penn State.
Yeah, it's in that group right there, right? That's the least accomplished 3. Would you rather have Georgia's resume or Texas? It's a little bit hard because of the recency of Georgia's success.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a Georgia fan right now, I'm like,
I wouldn't trade with Texas.
I'll take it.
Now, Penn State's an interesting question because they haven't been particularly relevant in quite a while.
Well, and you think about, what did Joe Pa win? 2
I think
national championships?
Yeah, because he got closed out of a lot of them because they were an East Coast independent.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
So he won one in 86, and they won one again in 94?
I believe that is right. The 94 was a split because they beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl, right? And I think Nebraska was the other half of that. Did Nebraska win the Orange Bowl or something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. That was back when we had the stupid system where you didn't play. 86, they won the Fiesta and the national championship. 82, they won the national championship in the Sugar. And then 94 was, I think, the year it got split when they won the Rose. So, yeah, they split. Well, he won 2 and then split another one. So I'll give him 3 for that. But, boy, since then, they just haven't really, I don't know. But, I mean, that was a great run for Joe Paterno. There's no doubt. He won a bundle of games at Penn State, 409 in total. All right, so that's Andy Staples' Blue Bloods and college football. We'll talk more about Texas, our MyBookie 40 and 40 team today, mybookie.ag code next round. A reminder, Urology Centers of Alabama. Urological health is so important to everyone, but especially men. And you can make an appointment right now, urologycentersalabama.com, or call 205-930-0920 for Urology Centers of Alabama, and make that appointment now just to make sure your urological health is where it should be. 35 urologists, 16 locations across Alabama, everything from prostate health to kidney stones. Urology Centers of Alabama takes great care of you. urologycentersalabama.com. When we return, it is an earlier than normal visit with Buster Olney. He's a day early because of travel. We'll talk some Major League Baseball with Buster Olney from ESPN. That is next.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com. Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
All right, we continue on the next round. We'll check back in with Dunaway on the road paying off his bracket bet in just a moment. Buster Olney coming up after Lance tells you about our friends from Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Schedule that hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. Speaking from experience, I've got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago. 205-969-8100 or online, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, Buster Olney, ESPN, joins us each week. Travel issues move him up a day. What is up, Buster? How are you?
I'm doing great. Starting to get prepared for next week, the All-Star events, Home Run Derby. A lot of fun. We're doing a Home Run Derby reveal show tonight, following our Phillies and Dodgers broadcast. So I'm here in the Bristol area, getting ready for that.
Who would you most want to see if you could just pick anybody in Major League Baseball, whether they're going to be in it or not? Who would you most want to see in the Home Run Derby?
Now, are you talking about like all time?
Oh, we can do both. Let's do both. Let's do current and all time.
Okay. And I'm going to turn off my alarm on my phone. Just went off. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I don't even hear it. It's time to wake up, though, Buster.
So I would say that for me, the current player would be Aaron Judge, right? I mean, I remember in 2017 when he won that in Miami, the next day, Joey Votto was standing around the batting cage, and he just looked at me and goes, people don't realize how hard it is to do what he did, hitting balls, 460 feet to opposite right center field, which is how he won the Derby that year. All time, and we had a great conversation about this, a great debate with my colleague Tim Kirkchin. For me, you'd have to start with Babe Ruth. I think Henry Aaron, Willie Mays, Josh Gibson, Reggie Jackson would have to be in there, right? Aaron Judge would have to be in there. Ken Griffey Jr. would have to be in there, and Mickey Mantle. Like that 8 would be pretty amazing.
Do you believe like the Aaron Judges of the world and the Shohei Ohtanis, a lot of times you hear they're not going to participate because they're fearful that it screws their swing up or things? Is there any evidence that is actually the case, or does that just become an easy excuse not to do it?
Yeah, there are individuals who, have had absolutely disastrous second halves after winning the Home Run Derby, participating in the Derby. Bobby Abreu was an example of that. We've gone back and looked at results and actually studied that question. I think it's just coincidental when guys struggle in the second half. I do think the injury issue is real. I think that's why Judge hasn't participated since 2017. I think he messed up a shoulder, and it's why I think I mentioned to you last week, I think this new format they have this year will be something that players like, because it won't be this exhaustive sprint of 3 minutes where they're trying to get in as many pitches as they possibly can. You're going to be limited to 40 pitches/swings per round. And I think that'll give players an opportunity to breathe a little bit instead of being bent over, exhausted at the end of their rounds.
Buster, I know it's impossible to compare eras, but I'm going to ask you to try to do this.
Oh, boy, Lance.
You brought up Babe Ruth, and I just think it's fascinating. And baseball is one of those sports where you can have these conversations over a beer.
Yeah.
Okay, so first let's go Aaron Judge versus Bob Gibson. How does that turn out?
Oh, man. See, and I mean, a lot of it just depends. It's so subjective on how you think it would translate, right? In an era. I mean, Bob Gibson was someone who threw hard. On the other hand, when I remember once, guys, I did a, ranking the all-time players show, and I was on with Tommy Lasorda. And I knew Tommy a little bit, and I was trying to think of a way to get under his skin. And so we started talking about Babe Ruth and Mariano Rivera. And I looked at Tommy live on television and I go, hey, you know what? I think Mariano Rivera would shatter Babe Ruth's bat. And Tommy just started sputtering. He was so upset by that because he was like, what are you kidding? And I'm thinking, Babe Ruth was playing at a time when guys were probably throwing 80 miles an hour. The catchers were standing up to receive the ball in a lot of cases. He had a 40-inch bat, and everyone talks about how amazing that was. Well, you guys and I know there's no chance someone is going to have a 40-inch or 40-ounce bat in this era because of how hard guys throw. So, Judge against Gibson, I would give you this. The individual matchup, the best pitch for Bob Gibson was that vicious slider, with which he struck out all those hitters in the World Series in 1968 in Game 2. That is Judge's that is his Achilles heel. That is his kryptonite, low and away slider. So I'm going to pick Bob Gibson.
And another thing that Gibson would have going for him is higher mound back then. But the other one I was going to ask you, back to Babe Ruth versus the rookie phenom Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens would strike him out every time.
Isn't that funny to think about?
There's no question about it. And look, Babe Ruth was, a transcendent star. He was hitting more home runs in an individual season than other teams were hitting in a season. But here's the thing. Again, you're bringing in a 40-ounce bat against a guy throwing 103 miles per hour. Good luck with that.
Let's take Ohtani off the table. If you had 30 general managers and they were starting a franchise with one player, how many would take Skeens?
I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't think a lot would, because I think that now, privately you hear this from general managers, they have almost got to the point where they don't trust high velocity. Like their feeling is, yeah, the player's great. They love Skeens, but they just look at those guys as being ticking time bombs before they get hurt. And they wonder how sustainable that is. Now, Skeens, he's big, he's physical, he's a smart guy. He makes adjustments. But I think after what we saw with Steven Strasburg, where he had this career full of injuries, I think that generally speaking, general managers always go for the position player. They would rather have a guy who they feel like has a better chance to be on the field every day. A Gunnar Henderson, a Bobby Witt Jr., somebody like that, I think probably would be ahead of Skeens if you were doing a franchise draft.
Buster Olney is with us, ESPN. He is live with us from Bristol. He will have the unveiling of the Home Run Derby tonight. Tonight, right? Is that correct, Buster, on ESPN?
Yeah.
Okay, tonight on ESPN.
After the Phillies and Dodgers game.
Gotcha. After Phillies-Dodgers tonight on ESPN. Great game there. Who do you think should be the National League starter? Should it be Skeens or Chris Sale from Atlanta?
Definitely Paul Skeens is my feeling. Yeah. Now, who has earned the right most among all pitchers in the National League to be that guy? It's Chris Sale. He's had a phenomenal season. But you guys know where the All-Star game has evolved to from where we were when there'd be a team meeting among National League and American League players, and they would be like, we got to kick these guys' butts. Like there was a point of league pride. At the time when Willie Mays and Henry Aaron and Roberto Clemente, Pete Rose would get 4 and 5 plate appearances in games because they're trying to win a game. That's not the All-Star game anymore. It feels like a Little League participation trophy thing. I don't think the players care that much about winning or losing. And given that it's an exhibition and you're going to have a lot of casual fans viewing, I think you give him the guy that everyone wants to see. Paul Skeens, the guy that throws 102, who's got the good-looking girlfriend who probably be interviewed during the course of the game. Put him out there and have Chris Sale pitch as well.
Let me ask you, Dodgers again, another injured pitcher and Glasnow. It's just amazing. It's almost like they sold their souls to the devil. But Trevor Bauer, going back to him, and if I asked you this last year, possibly I did. I'm not sure. But will he ever have a future again in Major League Baseball?
I don't think so. Look, he served his suspension. He could sign with any team today, but there is a concern about Trevor, and you can think it's fair or not. First off, you'd obviously have the PR questions at the moment you signed him, and I think teams are leery of that. But there's also a feeling of him being just this far away from having a meltdown on social media, on going after somebody on social media or being upset on social media. At one point earlier this year, he was doing a sort of a PR tour and he was saying all the right things and doing all the right things because he was trying to interest the team. And since then, there's been a lot of stuff that's not necessarily in his best interest that he's posted. And I know for a fact some teams have seen that and they're like, you know what? It's just a little too scary to bring into our organization. So no, I don't think he's ever going to pitch in the big leagues again.
You know what's crazy, Buster? Like if I'm his representation, I'm like, we make a deal with the team. Like we actually freeze your social media accounts.
Never tweet again.
Like just erase them. Like to me, it would be worth for Trevor to come back and rehab that image and to show people that he believed he was wrongfully accused and he still got what it takes to be a frontline starter in Major League Baseball.
And they would also be concerned about post-game comments and what he would say. Look, the way that he handled it is just too scary. I remember when, when Alex Rodriguez, served his suspension and people thought he'd kind of gone on crazy train. And, the Yankees released him. And then there was a feeling among a lot of teams like, we do not want to bring him into our clubhouse because we don't know what he's going to do next. And I think there's a lot of that with Trevor when it comes to his use of social media. And a lot of people, you'd have to do some hard convincing for them to believe that he's not going to go on social media potentially and rip whatever you're doing.
But everybody wants great pitching, and it appears at some point Garrett Crochet is available for the White Sox. But is the asking price too much, Buster? I've seen a lot of speculation that the White Sox are just way overpriced in this market for Garrett Crochet.
Well, first off, they've got the one Lamborghini in the market right now.
Yeah.
They're just not that many sellers. And so they probably should stick to that high price because you've got teams like the Orioles who absolutely could use a starting pitcher. And they have a farm system loaded with prospects. So I think the White Sox will probably stick to that. You've got a young general manager in Chris Getz, who's perceived by his peers to be very careful. I think they'll stay there, but at some point, you got a price to sell the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You can't have it sitting on the lot all that time. We got 20 days until the trade deadline. I think a Garrett Crochet in this vein, and also Mason Miller of the Oakland Athletics. You hear other people talk about him. He's potentially an impact reliever, all-star this year. He throws 103 miles per hour. And it's interesting, talking with other teams, they're saying that the A's seem lukewarm on whether to trade him. And I'm sitting there going, why? Your team stinks. You're not going to be relevant by the time his time with your team is over. We know how relievers break down. Take advantage of his value right now. You think the Philadelphia Phillies, the Yankees wouldn't want a guy like that? Price him to sell him. Just go through a bidding process, move him out of there for the best thing you can get before he breaks down.
Because like you mentioned the Orioles, Crochet could be the difference in a world championship or not. He's that good, right?
And they are that good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they deserve it. You know who else would potentially be in that category? The Boston Red Sox, they are coming on. We've seen them twice in the last month. They're getting better. They have all these great young athletes. There's a real belief. When you're around that team, if you ask me today, which team could have the potential to be this year's Texas Rangers Diamondbacks, kind of coming out of nowhere, shocking us in October, having success in the playoffs and World Series maybe, it would be the Boston Red Sox. There is something building there. There's no question.
So I don't remember the last time the Cincinnati Reds were relevant, but Ellie De La Cruz, we talk about, he is just a superstar that is here now at 22. What about this Reese Hines kid?
A lot of excitement. 15th best prospect in baseball. He's got a lot of power. You feel bad for the Reds because going into the year, they were a small market team that spent some money, right, on getting guys like Frankie Montas because they wanted to prop up some of their young players and give them a chance, and they have just been decimated by injuries. Well, he comes in now, he hits a couple of home runs this week. He potentially, is an impact guy as we go down the stretch. And, that might sound funny, but the National League wildcard race is so muddled with a bunch of mediocre teams that, you go on a 6 or 7 game streak, or you have a good 2 weeks like the Diamondbacks did at the end of last season, maybe you become that team. I'd say that about the Pirates, too. The Pirates are right there with where the Reds are. They're in that muddle. Can you guys imagine if you had a short series going into that and you had Skeens, Jones, and Keller as your 3 starters? No team in the National League would want to face those guys.
I would say so. That would be pretty brutal. All right, tonight you'll see it on ESPN. They'll unveil the home run derby field. Dodgers-Phillies. First pitch is 6 o'clock tonight. And immediately after that game, Buster and the crew there will tell you who's going to be in the home run derby while we're out in Dallas next week. So perhaps we'll run into you and buy you some dinner out there, Buster.
That would be fun.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We'll try.
Thanks, guys.
We'll try to hook it up. See ya. Have a great day. Buster with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. A reminder at Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicators where you find them. They've repriced both those lots there at Johnston RV Center, and the pricing is so good right now, and they're so confident in their pricing that they will beat any price on a comparable RV nationwide. You just bring them that price, they will beat it. That is a nationwide guarantee at Johnston RV Center. Also, RV Warranty Forever. Make sure you've got that great lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying used RV warranty forever. Johnston RV has that right now. You can see it I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and JohnstonRVCenter.com. Well, I tell you what, man, if Crochet goes, and I hate to do that to Scott, it's the only good player the White Sox have.
I think he's expecting this, fully expecting this.
Yeah, Scott, have you long since accepted that you're watching the final days of Garrett Crochet? Is he editing? I'm sorry if I'm interrupting Scott editing. That's my bad, Scott. Scott's got
no, not at all. Yeah, I mean, both him and Luis Robert, I'd be shocked if they were there for.
So you've long
the
since
length of their contract.
You've long since accepted this is going to end.
I mean, they're only 32 and a half back of the Guardians right now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think you got a second half
I
run
mean, can
coming?
you imagine if you guys end up 60 back at the end of the year?
You don't think we're going to get hot?
I don't.
Put Dunaway to knock down them threes.
I know.
I mean, you guys are minus 166 in run differential.
Is that bad?
I mean, when you've got teams like the Phillies at plus 118.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's bad?
Yeah, I'm saying it's bad. Yeah, White Sox are awful, Scott. But, I mean, to Buster's point, you give the Orioles a Garrett Crochet or somebody like that, or even the Red Sox. He says the Red Sox are coming. They're just 6.5 back of the Orioles and only 3.5 back of the Yankees. I mean, they're closing ground on the Yankees, too. The Red Sox are. I mean, that Garrett Crochet, you see it a lot of years at the trade deadline that one guy could be the difference in the World Series. I mean, it could be the World Series for Boston or Baltimore. How you feel about your Dodgers?
I mean,
it's a bunch of injuries.
Going down. I mean, if they could have their rotation 100% healthy, which is never going to happen, I think they would be close to unbeatable in a 7-game series.
Yep, but I have yet to see that could be the case.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, big plans tonight for you boys, right? I believe it is a Wednesday.
Rockstar is Wednesday night. That means.
Can I borrow you for a second?
Sure.
You cool with that?
Dan Aykroyd.
Those Blues Brothers, man.
Yeah.
Odie's Team Trivia. Every Wednesday night, come join us at the original location in Crestline. Enjoy some great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers. My personal favorite, that Diablo sandwich. Our man Brian Pavlik was in last week. He got the Diablo sandwich.
Oh, that's a good one.
He ate it with hands, too. No knife and fork.
I can't do that. Brian's a man.
Yeah, get there early. Enjoy some of that great food. Ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. 2 locations. The one we'll be at tonight doing Odie's Team Trivia in Crestline, and also the newest location in Edgewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
You know what's this is a weird phenomenon that is pretty recent, but I experienced it the other night. Is Jennifer and I told you are going back and watching The Americans on Hulu.
I'm about to start that back.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Boy, I forgot how good it is.
Well, because I never finished it.
I didn't either.
Finish
No,
it?
I did not. And I'll tell you who inspired me to do this was Dr. Brett McCabe, our friend who does the mental health podcast with Lance and is a extremely successful sports psychologist. And I was playing golf with Brett the other day, and we were just talking about shows, and he said The Americans, for him, was the best start to finish and had the best finish. And I was like, I never made it to the finish, Brett. He goes, you've got to go back and do it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it has been so long, I need to start it over. So we started from scratch. But when you watch a show on streaming.
I'll never forget the first scene, was it not Tusk?
Yep. It's so wild to remember that. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And that's a song I've never particularly liked. Fleetwood Mac Tusk.
Oh, you know what Tusk is, though.
I do. Yeah. I do indeed.
Like
there's
Fleetwood.
I thought
there's
it was
a lot of that in
cool
this series.
when they brought in the USC band.
I agree.
That's the thing. It's
that's the hook on it.
It's the shtick song.
Yeah, and when y'all did it and had the Homewood band, I believe it was pretty.
That
good.
was fun during the tour too. Like every other place, we'd have some local high school band that you'd have to sound check with a band that has no idea what they're doing. Like it's just like, who the hell's Fleetwood Mac?
But they kind of established early on how everybody talks about Stranger Things. When you think of an '80s show and how it was done well, where you look at it and you get lost in the '80s. I mean, it came on, I think it was, this is a deep dive, Quarter Flash Harden My Heart was like the very first scene, and then I think it's Tusk after that.
Dang, I don't see how you remember that. How long has it been since you've watched that show?
I mean, I think it was 2013 or 14 when it came out.
But Tusk does play. I don't particularly like that song, but it's perfect in the opening scene. And, I mean, that show is so good out of the gate. But what I was getting at is... Back then,
she is a hoe for her country, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she does not mind. She will literally do anything for Mother Russia, anything. And you see it. But back then, when they were doing seasons, and I guess they do it now with seasons, you had the cliffhanger at the end of each season.
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't realize you're watching the final episode of a season. and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You're like, oh, that was the final episode of season 2 right there.
Yeah. Normally, like Game of Thrones would do it the episode before the final episode of the series.
Yeah,
that was the one that had the most action.
I was talking to Tim and John about this. Do you watch, because of the House of House of Dragons? I don't watch the coming up next week.
Really?
I don't. Yeah, I turn it off because I don't want to really hear I don't want to see that.
Well, it's kind of a waste. It's just like I'm just so conditioned to do it.
It's not gonna be that's next episode. That's upcoming in the season. Like this is what's going to happen. I just don't. I always turn it off. I have no interest in it.
Do you watch the previously on? I don't know if they do that.
I skip recaps
that too.
Unless it's like season 2. It's like I gotta what happened in season 1 just to kind of get some details.
By the way, I finally saw the trailer for Gladiator 2.
What'd you think?
I think it looks good.
It looks like Gladiator.
I agree. I thought. If you had
water thrown in there, though.
If you had never seen Gladiator, if you didn't know it existed, you'd be like, "Oh, this is like an awesome movie."
It's the most expensive film ever made. It's like 300. Would you say it's 350 million?
The new one?
$310 million.
The new one.
Most expensive.
I mean,
film
look,
ever made.
Ridley Scott, Denzel, Pedro Pascal. They'll do it right.
When they had to time travel, so that's a pretty penny.
It's a pretty penny. So anyway, I was just bringing that up. That is kind of a weird phenomenon. Is you're watching a show and it's got this great ending. You're like, oh, that must have been a season finale, and lo and behold, it is. But when you watch it the way I do now, where you're just buzzing through them, we're doing like 2 or 3 a night. So we'll get to the end soon. I'll let you know. But Brett McCabe says best ending of any show he's ever watched.
What season are you on
We're
right now?
in season 3 now.
Okay.
We're into season 3.
Is it 6?
Yeah, it's 6 seasons.
Yeah.
I'm closing in on halfway.
I think I missed 5 and 6.
I can't remember where I punched out. I still haven't, I'm still watching stuff that I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this now. So I'm still where I was watching. I think the daughter gets more involved, and that was where I punched out.
Jace is right. Denzel just playing himself from Training Day. I thought he was great in Training Day. I thought the Oscar was well earned. But Denzel is Denzel in a lot of stuff. And I saw him at the table where he's got like a goblet.
Does he always laugh?
My man!
My man! Denzel.
Back in the old Gladiator times.
I know. I'm sure they said that then.
My man!
Hip hop in the trailer.
Yeah, that came.
I did not like that.
Yeah. That came from the MyBookie.ag chat room. Dunaway on the road, paying off his MyBookie bracket bet. We'll check in with him in the next hour. 4 Downs is next on the next round.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory Bent Grass Green greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, Rockstar, we need an update here from the mybookie.ag bracket payoff. I'm going to tell EG that you're going to send her a Zoom link, okay? A very funny update from Stop 2. I will say, I thought the hardest part of this was going to be Dunaway getting into Neville Arena. He walked right in, no questions asked. Nobody.
Why specifically Neville?
Because there's no classes in there. It's just the basketball facility. It's a new basketball facility, so, it's easier to, build it with the idea of security in mind. I just don't imagine them leaving a lot of doors unlocked at Neville Arena. I mean, I just thought that was going to be the hardest one.
Yeah, I thought the biggest problem was going to be, I didn't know which one, but ultimately one being closed.
Yeah, because I think Coleman, there's a lot that goes on in Coleman Coliseum other than basketball. A lot of offices and things in there, so I thought he'd be okay in there. Alabama State, I imagined them having classes there in the Acadome. I don't know if that's the case or not. I think Samford and UAB are going to be fairly easy. I just really thought the toughest one was going to be Neville, and he walked right in there. Now, he couldn't make a three to save his life, but he walked right in there. Trey says he thought Alabama State was going to be the toughest one in the mybookie.ag chat.
Yeah, Rod's right, though. Rod is right. White dude at State going to stand out. Yeah. He is going to like the Great White Hope.
Oh, but dude, he balls. You see that?
Dunaway's going to dress the way he's dressed.
If he has a nutsack on him, he'll go out there, even though they're practicing, and just throw one up.
I got next.
Yeah,
I think they would die if they saw him walk in.
I agree.
And just fall out laughing.
Yeah. But what if he did just go get in the layup line, and then instead of taking the layup, he just drains the three or tries to drain the three.
There's a picture of him right there.
Yep. Him and Ron Slay, Dunaway going with that Ron Slay look. If you missed it, you catch it on our social media at Next Round Live, I'm going to try, but we've got an update. They have got an update from Alabama State that is so Dunaway it hurts, and we're going to try to get EG to jump on and give us the update. Lunceford says he thought the difficulty level will be State, Samford, Bama, Auburn, UAB.
Well, if that is in fact the order it's going to stack,
he's done the easiest one.
Well, it's going to be a long 24 hours.
Zach says Alabama State's the wild card. I never viewed it as tough as you guys. I thought that was going to be just again. Now I'm assuming they got classes. Anytime you've got a place where they got classes going on, it's going to be easier to get in because they got to leave the doors unlocked for students. So anytime there's classes going on,
it is amazing they leave some of these venues unlocked. Like I remember walking home from the bars one night in Tuscaloosa, and Bryant-Denny was wide open.
Oh, you could just walk right in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember one time as a kid, my brother, when he was doing college tours, toured Tuscaloosa, toured the campus at Alabama. And my brother's 6 years older than me. So if he was 18, I was probably 11 or 12 years old at the time. I might have been 10. And he was touring Tuscaloosa, and I just walked right in Coleman Coliseum, and there were a couple of guys down on the floor playing basketball. And I assumed they were Alabama basketball players, so I had no clue who they were and asked for their autograph. I just walked down on the floor. They're shooting, asked for their autograph. They gave me their autograph. To this day, couldn't tell you who it was.
No idea.
No idea who I got their autograph from. Could it have been anybody in that?
So it could have been like a Dunaway, right?
Yeah, it could have been. Now, these guys actually looked the part. They looked like basketball players. But in that era, it could have been anybody, I guess, from David Benoit to Robert Horry to somebody you've never even heard of. I've got no earthly idea. All right, Slice brings us 4 downs every day, and Lance is going to give us those after he tells you about those 5 great locations of Slice.
The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood. Get in to see the Bajalia Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients from the soul pie to the wing and the prayer. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More wins this year, the Texas Longhorns or the San Francisco 49ers?
I get all of Texas in the regular season in San Francisco, right?
You get all of Texas, yeah, and just regular season San Francisco.
I think I'll... God, this is a tough one. I noticed you didn't go Texas and Dallas Cowboys because I think I'd go Texas over the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go San Francisco, I think. This is a really tough one because I could see Texas even at 10-2 getting a playoff win, gets to 11. I mean, at some point, the 49ers, I mean, this guy's going to play like the last pick of the draft, right? Or is he just going to be the best quarterback we've ever seen?
I don't think he is going to in Kyle Shanahan's system. So, no, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah. But, I mean, even 11 or 12 wins, I think San Francisco at 12, Texas at 11.
Yeah, I think San Fran's probably 12 or 13, so I'm going to go San Francisco as well.
That's what I'll do.
Second down.
Who wins a college football playoff game first, Sark or Dan Lanning?
Again, this may be determined by, like, if one of these doesn't win their conference and gets that first-round home game, right? They technically win a playoff game first. Yeah. I'll go Dan Lanning on this one. I'll say Ohio State wins the Big Ten, and Dan Lanning gets the first one. Now, I'm not certain Texas wins the SEC, but I feel better about Ohio State.
I'm going to go Dan Lanning.
I'll go Dan Lanning on this one. Yeah.
Third down.
Antonio Brown, 36 years old. If I asked you, ultimately, better career because Odell's still playing, Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Well, I hope Odell tears it up this year.
No, I'm sure you do.
Ultimately, better career, I'm going to go Odell Beckham Jr. I think ultimately he will have the better career. Antonio Brown probably had the highest high, but I think consistently Odell Beckham's going to have the better career.
Just recently, and he was a big contributor down the stretch for the Rams. He gets hurt in the first half, in that first quarter, late first quarter against the Bengals in Super Bowl, but he's got a ring.
But I tell you what, man, as a number 3 in Miami's offense, he could put up some numbers.
I think he can be really good.
Yeah, with all the coverage that you have to dedicate to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Fourth down.
Sofia Vergara is 52 today. Jessica Simpson, 44. Better career, Sofia Vergara or Jessica Simpson?
So outside of Modern Family, Sofia has done...
Sophia.
I think I would go Jessica Simpson just because of this clothing line or whatever she's got.
She's got a...
I think she's a billionaire.
Was Lunceford weighing in on this?
Well, no, I mean, yes, you see Sofia Vergara more now, but like Jessica Simpson's like a billionaire from her other businesses and stuff.
And she's also had, I mean, I wouldn't call it a successful acting career, but she's had some big acting roles.
She was Daisy
Duke.
That's it.
And a music career.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't like a successful music career either, but it was a career.
She's sister to Ashley. So
one of the first reality stars.
Yeah. And was married to Nick Lachey for a little while. I'll go, I think I'll go Ashley Simpson.
Oh, and who was the San Francisco 49er tight end she was married to, or maybe he still is married to?
Oh, really?
Yeah, a kid that played at Yale. Eric, I forgot. He's a pretty good tight end. Yeah.
You never liked Sofia Vergara. The voice drove you crazy on Modern Family. You like Modern Family, though, right?
I did. I thought she was good as, what was the Netflix miniseries?
Where they had, like, you won't believe what Sofia Vergara looks like now because they had to give her, like, a big nose. But she's like a cartel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she was good in that.
All right, that is 4 Downs presented by Slice, slicebirmingham.com. We're about to check in on the road gang there, out there trying to pay off Dunaway's bet. And apparently it's hit a snag. But first, Lance, tell them about Dr. B before we get to that.
Yeah, make sure you get in, see Dr. B. If you're starting to thin out, you know somebody that's thinning out. Maintain what you've got, grow it back even. That's what's going on with me right now. I do that non-invasive treatment on the couch 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today and that staff. Schedule the consultation, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
All right, so if you are just joining us on the show today, Dunaway is paying off the mybookie.ag bracket challenge, the bracket bet payoff here, and easy, much easier than I would have imagined in Neville Arena. Much more difficult than I would imagine actually making a 3 in Neville Arena. He's one of 29 on the day. We find you now, Jim Dunaway, outside of, I thought they called it it is the Acadome, the Dunculliver Acadome. So you're in Montgomery, so this is easy. I mean, this is going better than I would have ever imagined. You're about to go in there and shoot?
Nope, we've already shot. The video should be, have you sent the video to Forrester yet?
No.
Okay, the whole video is going to Forrester in a second. We lucked up. Coach, the whole coaching staff was on the floor. The head coach, the assistant coach, and 2 GAs were at each end of the floor, and they were working up a sweat, shooting and dribbling, music playing in the background. The most nerve-wracking thing, like I thought it would be here, security guard to get on campus. He seemed like he was on a phone call. Not that he wasn't doing his job perfectly, but he gave me a nice wave and rolled on through and made it over to the Acadome. We walked down in the beautiful arena, by the way. And what's Coach's name?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, Coach. Coach was fantastic.
Coach,
we went down there. Do you need my stats?
Yeah, because there is we got some action on this. You started 1 of 29.
Yeah, the over-under right now is 61.5 total shots.
Yeah, so 1 of 29. Where are we now after a trip into the Acadome?
Well, you'll have to do the math, but I was 1 of 3 inside the Acadome.
Oh, it's going to
helped out by the coach because I went 0 for 2 with what he called the onion. What are you shooting with, an onion? He goes, does it matter which basketball you make them with? And I said, no. And he gave me regulation basketball, and I hit the very first shot, and he said, I told you, you're shooting with an onion. And it is very slippery, worn-out basketball that Bush from the Pennant Grace pulled out of apparently a creek in his backyard this morning and washed it off because we started to leave the studio and we didn't have a basketball.
Yeah, it looked like you were playing with a medicine ball, though,
really
on the 1 of 29.
It looked awful. So did coach, the unnamed coach from Alabama State, did he let you keep that basketball?
No. We're gonna shoot the onion unless we get lucky at the other 3 stops. But they were so nice. The arena is beautiful. I've never been in the Acadome before.
They were so hospitable. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I'm a Hornets fan.
Yeah, Hornets fan. ASU. Little T over here. Little T. We were worried about this one.
Well, the first door that we pulled on was locked. Was it the first 2 or just the first
2? Yeah.
First 2. And then when we walked in, there was a sign on the first door. And this is all on tape that I'll send out after we get off. But it said, in red letters, it was printed on the door and said, do not enter. And at first, the music playing, it wasn't like loud rap that they had playing after, but it sounded like dance practice.
I thought it was dance practice, yeah.
And so that concerned me. But then once we walked into like the little upper bowl area and we saw people down there, Dunaway was so brave and just walked down there, walked up to the guy and told him what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Coach loved it.
Back to
I would tell you that Mike Gundy would say I'm well under the Oklahoma State legal limit to be driving right now. But I do have a nerve calmer in my system right now.
Okay, back to Neville, though. Outside of from afar, we just saw a lot of air balls. Were there any nervous moments that somebody might throw you out of there?
Oh, no, that was my whole fear. Like, walking in was scared to death because there was one coach-looking guy who was walking from his car as we were walking in, but he was going towards the front where Taylor thought we should have gone. And there were people leaving at the bottom where we enter for the media. And like 8 doors do not have a handle and 1 has a handle. And I was like, well, what's the chance of the one with a handle? But EG, to her credit, says, I wanted to follow the coach looking guy. And she goes, no, let's go down there. People are leaving. So we go down there and the door was unlocked. And we go in there. There's a lady doing, some cleaning. We wave at her. She doesn't, she waves back. And then we walk through the VIP area out where the locker room is. And then the court's open. The goals are up, which is, I thought, one of the big scrambling points. Are goals even going to be up? Goals were up. So I said, okay, I can at least get 1 or 2 shots up. So I missed the first one. The second one I can't remember now, but it felt like it was close. Yeah. And then somebody at the top, there were like 2 guys up at the top said, we believe in you. And now I'm like, well, my goodness, now somebody's watching. How long until they call security? So then the next 5 get worse and worse. And then there actually is a guy given another guy walking in the tunnel down past the Auburn student section, and they glance out on the floor and what's going on, because an empty gym's making noise all over the place. And that's when I got really nervous. I was winded. I had to start getting EG to rebound for me because I was gassed, and it just got worse and worse. So I apologize to, first of all, my father, my family, everyone at Thompson and Montevallo, and everybody part of the Montevallo Sports Hall of Fame. 1 of 29 was not representative.
Yeah, not a huge expectation for you, but that was a pathetic display.
It really was.
Yeah.
But you're now 2 of 32, so it's getting a little bit better.
Yeah, it is getting better. I still think that 61.5 number is about right.
Yeah. Jay says there's a good chance, he says this in the mybookie.ag chat room, a good chance the people at Neville thought this was your Make-A-Wish, so they just weren't going to step in. They weren't going to step in and interrupt.
You do have the Caillou look.
Yeah. That could be happening right now. I could be on. You're right.
So how do you feel? How you feeling about Coleman Coliseum? That's stop number 3 on the tour.
Well, I'm told that we're going to try to get in, and hopefully if the doors are unlocked, see if the rims being up is the challenge. So, but we need to get on the road because time's the ticking. In case one of these falls through, we're trying to figure out where we go if either Alabama, UAB, or Samford falls through.
Well, Jack State, right? I thought that was the emergency.
That is one of them. There's some debate about North Alabama. If we go North Alabama to Jack State, then there's Jack State to Kennesaw State. If we get into an emergency situation, then hotel rooms become a problem. At that point, I told them I would pick up the tab for 3 hotel rooms if we have to make this just an overnighter. So
okay.
And then they brought up the fact they don't have toiletries, so now I'm on the hook for toiletries.
That's right.
So it's a slippery slope if these next 3 don't work out.
Yeah, I've seen EG put on makeup on the way to games. You ain't got enough money for those toiletries.
Yeah.
You just give me a toothbrush and I'll be fine.
Hey,
that was not a shot at you, little T.
Hey, 2 down though.
Taylor says all she wants is a toothbrush and a cocktail, and she's good.
2 down by 11 o'clock though.
Yeah,
I think you guys are pacing pretty good.
It beats the odds. I thought you would be way worse off than this.
Yeah, I heard you talking. We're listening because Taylor's having to do her full-time job, so we're listening. And before we pulled out of the parking lot, I heard you guys questioning the 3-pointers, so we had to pull it up here and on the iPad and look to make sure that the toe was behind the line.
Yep.
And then so we got confirmation on that, and that's when we pulled on. And then so we're listening, and then I heard you saying you thought Neville would be locked.
Yep.
And I was like, I just don't think Neville will be locked, because we just saw yesterday the video of the Auburn players practicing.
Wow.
So
I thought it'd be locked.
You're supposed to go left. Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Is under control.
I'm gonna give it back to Taylor.
What's EG saying?
Isn't Samford's gym under construction?
Do you know? I mean, that's the Hannah Center.
It is. They're redoing it. I was there in March. It might be done.
No, there is construction going on, but we had a graduation there a month ago, and it was. Now there wasn't. I didn't see any goals in sight, but that's a you problem.
One more thing before we let y'all get back to it. Someone on Twitter said that I don't know if I'm assuming he works for the company. I'm not sure what it's called, but he said that he's going to be at Samford's basketball arena. They're doing something with the air filters, cleaning the air filters with the air vents up above it, and they asked what time we'll be there because the crew that's going to be there is trying to cheer Dunaway on.
Oh, how nice!
So, marathon is the last stop.
I know. Tell them keep working.
Run through that tape.
Yeah.
Tell them keep working. That's stop number 5.
Well, we literally just hit a roadblock.
Well, I told you were supposed to turn left back there. And
I'm sorry. I was doing live TV.
Okay.
I love they're making
Okay,
Dunaway
we're fine.
drive.
We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye. Y'all be careful. That is the mybookie.ag bracket bet payoff there. Little T, EG, and Dunaway on the road to now Tuscaloosa. And since they're listening, everybody in the chat room says, the mybookie.ag chat room says, be super careful on 82. Speed traps all over 82. So don't speed, Dunaway.
Dunaway's driving.
Don't need a speeding ticket.
And now both EG and Taylor seem like they've got energy and excitement.
Yeah.
I just wonder how this is going to be in the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's a nosedive.
I think it might have peaked right there. I think you saw the peak of it. A drive up 82 is probably going to sap some of the energy out. They better hope Coleman's unlocked. All right, we are into hour number 3, the Champy's Chicken Hour. Champy's world-famous fried chicken, champy'schicken.com. Sterling and the crew, they've already opened the doors there, and they've got a great lunch for you and dinner tonight. Champy's world-famous fried chicken, champy'schicken.com. World-famous pool boys, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, great sides, great desserts, champy'schicken.com. More college football and trash in the next hour on the next round.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We continue on the Next Round. People are offering their help for Dunaway. Reverend KJ Johnson says we can help Jimmy Buckets at the University of North Alabama. So he's got a decision to make now. Do you turn north from Tuscaloosa?
But you're not supposed to have help.
Yeah, you're not
Well, but
supposed to.
if people are just offering it, he doesn't set it up. Is that against the rules?
Yeah, I don't know.
People watch the show. I mean, if he
Yeah,
shows
I
up in
still think-
Tuscaloosa and somebody's standing there at the door to let him in, we can't penalize him
Well,
for that.
I still think if they show up in Tuscaloosa and the door is locked, I've got a feeling there will be a text or a call made.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I didn't send it. She sent it.
Taylor sent it.
I had nothing
I
to
mean,
do with
I
it.
would go where I know the guarantee is. If I know there's a guarantee at North Alabama, I probably would do that.
Well, I'm just saying what Rev Bloggle says
It's just
right
a
here.
couple hours north, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you knew
Just
though,
another 4 hours.
I don't know. I've never driven Tuscaloosa to Florence. I don't imagine you can just fly on that drive. I bet there are a few red lights and some small towns.
No,
you
but
have
if
to
you
slow
just
down.
left from here, you're
To
talking
Florence?
about 2 hours, right?
Yeah, to Flowtown. Yeah.
and then throw in the extra 30 to do everything. So you're looking at another 4.5 hours.
Well, I'm just saying if you thought you had a guarantee, I think if he gets, I'm going to say if he gets past Coleman Coliseum, this thing's over. He's going to get it done.
Well, it's going to be over one way or another, right?
Well, he may have to do it another day. I'm just saying if he gets past Coleman Coliseum, I think he's got this thing in the bag.
Yeah, what would be more interesting? Do you think E.G. and Taylor would do another day?
That's why I think if somebody's there to open the door, I'm not going to put it past E.G. and Taylor to set that up because they want to be done with this. And I'm not going to blame them one bit for that. Coming up in just a moment, who are the best 10 players in college football? EA Sports has their rankings out for every player. Now, this isn't like set in stone guaranteed, but we'll see who they say are the best players in all of sports. A reminder, though, as we start this hour, Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg's company. And I know when we say that, you're like, well, I haven't had a storm, but you may just need a new roof. Greg does that too. But listen, storms come through all the time this time of year. Have you had storm damage? Let Greg get on your roof, risk-free. He's not going to charge you anything. He'll give you an honest opinion. He works with the insurance companies, so he can get the work done for you. The number for his cell phone, and that's where you call him or text him, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. That is Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City, Greg Nelson. And you can catch him right there and get him on your roof to give you that honest opinion.
Two things. I came across this, and I brought it up earlier. The 2018 Western Conference Finals go 7 games.
Right.
Dunaway missed 28 straight threes.
Yep.
The Rockets actually missed a NBA playoff record 27 straight threes.
Who were the
broke a record.
Who were the shooters on that team?
On that team, you had Trevor Ariza. I'm trying to think. Chris Paul, which I wouldn't really consider him. Joe Johnson.
No. Arkansas Joe Johnson?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that those guys.
Eric Gordon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a bad night, huh?
Yeah, I'm not looking at the box score. I'm just.
But those aren't particularly bad shooters historically.
No.
They were that night.
But 27 missed three-pointers. Dunaway 1 of 29, but 1 of 3 once he got to Alabama
That's right.
State.
I mean, he heated up when he got in the SWAC.
I wanted to go back to our number 3 team that we're previewing, the Texas Longhorns.
Okay.
Because we had Chip Brown on, and I asked him this question because I really thought about it today. If they were to basically, the Texas fans are kind of calling their shot. We're not going to have any hiccups.
Right.
We're going to roll right into the SEC.
That's the way it normally works, right? Yeah.
Win it year one, and we're going to win a national championship. We're going to build on losing in the college football playoffs last year. If, in fact, they do that, you think about the history of all Texas athletics, I do believe that's their greatest accomplishment.
If they would have to win how much to make it their greatest accomplishment?
No, they would just
the whole thing
win the SEC and win the national championship.
Okay.
Yeah, because
they're SEC champion, national champion.
I go back to 2005, and to beat that USC team, it took absolutely everything. It took one of the best single-game performances we've ever seen from Vince Young. And I would think that is their high mark, and that's what Chip referenced.
Yeah.
But I do believe if you're able to roll into the SEC in year one, win the conference, because the alpha is still viewed, although they didn't win it last year, the alpha in college football is the Georgia.
That is correct. So the national titles they claim, I was just going to look if there was like anything spectacular. In 1970, Lance, they lost the Cotton Bowl to Notre Dame. But keep in mind, that was when, again, we did some stupid things back then. They did the national champion before the bowl game, right? So even though they lost that game, but they were undefeated up until that point. But they lost 24-11 to Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl, but still took home the the Coaches Poll. The Coaches was the one that voted early, apparently, and put them number 1. So you couldn't say the 70. They won it in 69 as well. Now, that year they were undefeated. Undefeated, beat Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl the previous year. I mean, I would say this is more than that because you're winning the SEC in the first year.
Yeah.
The high watermark has to be Vince Young in that 2005 team.
Well, I don't know about you. When I think of the Texas brand, I just always think about that Rose Bowl setting, and I think about Vince Young and the All-Texas Whites.
That run in to the corner of the end zone right there. I mean, I can close my eyes and see that play at any moment, right? Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest moment in Texas football history. And that was such a moment because that touchdown sealed the game, won the game. Like, I don't know that there'll be a specific moment, but I agree with you. If they win the SEC and the national championship, it's the greatest moment in Texas football, greatest accomplishment in Texas football history.
And not only do you have arguably the most difficult schedule in Texas history entering the SEC, you've got an out-of-conference on the road against Michigan.
Yeah.
The team that just went
the
15-0.
defending champion. Yeah, the defending national champion. So it is going to be like one of those historic seasons.
Yeah, I mean, and you basically open, second week in the Big House, and then you close it playing A&M for the first time in more than a decade.
And if you're undefeated, there's a chance you have to beat Georgia twice, or maybe an Alabama or somebody like that in the conference championship game. I mean, can you imagine if you beat Michigan, Georgia, and Alabama in the same season? If you were Texas?
That'd be pretty amazing.
That'd be pretty amazing right now.
And I will tell you, they will quickly become, if they're not already, the most hated fan base in the SEC.
If they do that, they will be, because that fan base will be insufferable, and they will have earned every right to brag if they can make it through all that. No, I would agree with you. I think if they win the championship, if they win the SEC and the national championship, it's the greatest accomplishment in Texas football history. What is your 10-year? I wrote this down today, and this may be hard to quantify. I think you can do it, though. What's your 10-year expectation for them? So give Texas 10 years in the SEC. So let's do it this way. 10 years in the SEC.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting because if we go back when A&M entered the conference, and I said I gave Dunaway 2027, and you think about how long ago that was. When they entered, it was 15 years I gave him. That A&M would not win the SEC.
Just play in Atlanta.
Just play in Atlanta.
Yeah, and they're not there, by the way. They haven't done it yet. So
I feel a little different about Texas.
All right, so give me in 10 years, Texas double-digit win seasons. What do you think they'll have?
Oh, in 10 seasons, I will say that they have 6.
Oh, only 6. 6 out of 10. That's disappointing. How many times do you think they'll win the SEC in 10 years?
I think they will win the SEC 2 or 3. I'm going to say 2.
How many playoffs?
I think that they will have 5 playoffs.
Okay, so half the year.
Maybe 6 playoffs.
Okay.
How many 10-win seasons did I give them? 6?
You gave 6.
Yeah, I'll go 6.
Probably 6 playoffs. Yeah. And will they win a national championship?
I think they will win one national championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 double-digit win seasons, all of those in the playoffs, 2 SEC championships, and a national championship. That's good. I mean, that's far from dominant.
That's a B+.
Probably a B+.
The thing is, I try to shift this around. I mean, you've still got to deal with Georgia.
Yep.
You got to deal with Alabama. You got to deal with LSU.
Oklahoma.
Ole Miss is the best that they've been. Yeah, I didn't even mention Oklahoma.
I mean, that has been a handful for them in the Big 12. They haven't exactly dominated Oklahoma.
I still think, to me, Heupel's going to be more like he was year 2 than he was year 3. So I think you've got to deal with Tennessee. And then, I'm a big Hugh Freeze fan.
I do.
The SEC is it's a beast.
It is.
And so once you get to a college football playoff, it's so much more difficult to win it now. Because how many quality teams? You've at least got to win 2 quality games, right?
Oh, bare minimum. Yeah, you're talking about in your regular season schedule?
No, I'm talking about...
Or to make the playoffs?
Once you get in the playoffs.
Oh, once you get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance you can grab if you're the 5 seed, the 12 seed's a group of 5 team that, you're going to be a double-digit favorite over, but still, even after you beat them...
You still got to win 3 games.
That's right. You're going to have to win against 3 really good teams. Yeah. So bare minimum, you got to win 2
So I don't know
games.
if you honestly asked a Texas fan, they are so confident coming into this. I might be wrong on this, but if I'm a Texas fan, if you're like in 10 years, you're going to go to the playoffs 60% of the time, you're going to win an SEC title every 5 years, and you're going to win 1 national championship. I mean, I think I might take that.
Yeah. But, Oklahoma's beaten them 7 of the last 9 games. Now, one of those is a Big 12 championship. That's not all the Red River. But 7 of 9 is what Oklahoma's beaten them.
Yeah, Oklahoma's had their number. A lot of people don't realize, Texas wins 12 games last year, goes to a college football playoff, winning the Big 12. Oklahoma beat them in the regular season.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, we compare more the SEC to the NFL just because of the difficulty week in, week out. But if I gave you that with the Dolphins, would you take 6 10-win seasons, 6 playoff appearances, and 1 Super Bowl championship?
Absolutely, I would. And I guess the SEC equivalent would probably be winning the AFC. So I get
2
Super Bowl appearances and I win one of them, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
I would too.
You would too with the Rams.
Yeah. Yep. And, the funny thing is I think there's a lot of college football fan bases that wouldn't. Alabama, there is no chance Alabama fans take that in the next 10 years.
Not based on the taste they have now.
Yeah, Georgia fans, no chance they take it.
Now, if I go back pre-Saban and give that to Alabama fans, they're like, yeah, absolutely, I'll take that.
But other fan bases, like I don't think Ohio State would feel good about that, although Ryan Day still hasn't won one yet.
Yep.
Alabama, Georgia, who are other fan bases that wouldn't take that? Like, I think Notre Dame would take that right now.
They absolutely would. They haven't won a national championship since 1988, right?
Yeah. Oklahoma would take that. Tennessee would take it. Yep. Auburn would take it.
I think just about anybody would. I mean, there's a very few, and the only reason they don't is because their taste have gotten so good.
Well, I mentioned those three. I think Texas, I don't know. I don't know if Texas fans would take that or not.
You go back pre-Kirby Smart, Georgia takes it without batting an eye. I mean, they do. That's 6 of 10 in the playoffs. That's pretty impressive. And we haven't lived through the playoff era. So, again, I always say this. I just don't know how that feels. I don't know how that resonates with fans because we haven't lived it. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you part of the show today.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call, the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. Again, I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts, was wasting money each and every year on contacts and solutions. Made the call, went in, got the procedure done. Now I have 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Jen Michelson, Dr. Mark Michelson, best in the business. Call today, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. Make sure you tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. $0 to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
So Texas is our preview team today. We'll see this guy in Dallas next week, Steve Sarkisian, the Texas head coach. This was from earlier this year in Destin, before they were even actually an official SEC member. Sarkisian's thoughts on his football program now playing that difficult SEC brutal schedule.
So it's all happening. It's all becoming a reality. And it's exciting. It really is. This conference is amazing. Like I said, as an assistant, I had some great years here when I was with Alabama and Coach Saban. I love the competitive spirit of the SEC, and I think about that in really 3 levels. I think about the coaches, I think about the athletes, and I think about the fan bases. There's a real competitive spirit in the SEC, and week in and week out, the challenges that it poses for you, whether it's when you're playing on the road, whether it's game planning against some of the best coaches in our sport, or whether it's competing against some of the best athletes in college football. Great challenges, but that's why we do what we do.
I think about this a lot for some reason, but how excited would you be if you're a Texas or Oklahoma fan? All these new road trips.
God, it'd be incredible.
You've been going to Manhattan and Lawrence and Lubbock and all these other places for years now.
Ames.
And now you get these great new road trips, most of which you've never been to. I mean,
it would be beyond exciting. Yep. I think it's exciting for, Austin, I guess for Alabama fans, they experienced it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they've been to Norman not too terribly long ago.
But I do think for the majority of SEC fans to be able to go to Norman or Austin for the first time is going to be pretty incredible as well.
Yeah, but if I'm an Oklahoma or Texas fan, I probably got 10 or 12 I've never been to. And they're all supposed to be – I've heard all this stuff, how SEC stadiums, how the environments are. Now I get to go live it for the first time.
Well, and you think about Oklahoma, and that's such a great fan base. Much like Nebraska, really, really nice fans, knowledgeable fans. But that first road trip – is at Auburn. They open against Tennessee at home, and then they go to Auburn.
And really a massive game.
Well, and it's really, for Oklahoma fans, and I know the schedule's difficult, but the one positive with that is you've got road trips at Auburn, at Ole Miss, and at LSU. Those are iconic tailgates, venues. Everything about those dates, Oklahoma fans are going to spend a ton of money this year.
Tough schedule, but you get to go to some fun stadiums.
Yeah.
And then, Alabama comes to your place. You get to see some great helmets. So anyway, that's Texas, our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40 team today. When we return, Dunaway is paying off the MyBookie Bracket Challenge. And we've got video from Alabama State, the surprise visit. We will see that next. Champy's bringing you this hour of the next round, champyschicken.com. Sterling and the crew, they're open for lunch right now. Go enjoy that great fried chicken. Mississippi Delta Po' Boys, the Mississippi Delta Tamales, the great Po' Boys, the great desserts right there at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. Dunaway hits a 3 at Alabama State and trash next.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, we continue on the Next Round. As you see, Dunaway is out because he is on the road today with a little T&EG, paying off his My Bookie Bracket Challenge. He is making a three-pointer in 5 Division I gyms. He's chosen the state of Alabama, his home state, to do it. He is 2 for 2 so far, gym-wise. He is 2 for 32 shooting-wise. But it doesn't matter. He's just got to get 5 under his belt, and they're on their way to Tuscaloosa after knocking out Auburn, Neville Arena, the Acadome at Alabama State, which we'll see momentarily, and they're on their way to Tuscaloosa now for Coleman Coliseum. Again, I think they've done the hardest part. I think if as long as they don't run into like bad. I mean, they got 24 hours, Lance. We didn't start this thing till what, 9 o'clock?
I don't think that was the plan though for them.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think that they figured we'd probably have this thing wrapped up in about 5 or 6 hours.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we did the count earlier. I mean, just driving to those places. I think Coleman Coliseum is the pivot point here. If they get past Coleman Coliseum.
Well, if they have to go to Florence,
that's tough.
That's when it becomes a big problem.
Or Jacksonville, and then you heard Dunaway.
I do think that Birmingham is going to be the easiest to navigate.
You heard Dunaway say, and this is the first time I've heard this mentioned, they've considered now Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State as the backup, going and visiting Antoine Petway at Kennesaw State. That's when it becomes tricky right there, when we start having to add in another state. That seems like a pretty good haul from Jacksonville, Alabama to Kennesaw State University. Yeah, I've never driven that one, so I don't know the exact mileage. Feels like a lot to me, though. A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling. That is my man Brad Bell. A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling. They are the ones that fixed up my master bath, Lance's master bath, and his kitchen. right there. If you are tired of all that outdated bath or shower right there in your home, you can call Brad Bell at A+ Talent. He can take care of it. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Here is his cell number, 205-422-1758. Anywhere in Alabama, he can help you. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. He's the one that fixed up our homes. Scott is showing you before and after photos. He can do the same for you. A+ Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758. All right, so stop 2 was the Acadome in Montgomery, Alabama State University. Here is Jim Dunaway on the floor, Alabama State University. Scott is going to show the video here, making his three-pointer to make it 2 for 2 gym-wise.
Did you love him blaming the ball?
Well, I mean, apparently.
It was a bad ball, dude.
I mean,
I
get it. It's the onion.
But, I mean, I don't think it weighed as much as a medicine ball.
It does look like it.
That's what he was slinging around.
It looks like a medicine ball. All right, so 0 for 1. Oof, bad miss, side of the rim. 0 for 1, top of the key. Top of the key again. That was an air ball.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just given him the ball in the first place?
Yeah, here we go. Coach says, what you shooting, an onion? So Coach kicks it out. We kick out a fresh one. And then, wow. Quick inside the Acadome. So thanks to Coach for doing that. I mean, they had to think about it. You're just down there with your coaches. You're doing a nice little workout, and somebody walks in looking like this to shoot 3-pointers.
I'm glad we got the backstory because this does look like...
It looks set up, right?
Yeah, like, hey, we had a conversation with the coaching staff. They invited us up. He's even given Dunaway a little tutorial on how to shoot.
I mean, E.G. might be a good actress, but she couldn't even remember the coach's name, so it's hard to believe it was a total setup, right?
I'm a big fan. What's his name?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, thanks to Coach. E.G., what's Coach's name? I'm Googling it right now.
The amazing thing is, like, security. I mean, like, literally how many white dudes are, like, rolling on that campus?
I don't dress like Dunaway. How many people dress like Dunaway?
Well, and if I was security, I'd be like, hey, you got this old dude with these 2 really young girls. What's going on
he's
here?
wearing a headband.
I mean, that's going to be a major red flag.
I know. All right, Dunaway on his way to Tuscaloosa. Next Round Live on social media to figure that out, to follow that. Next Round Live on social media. It's time now for Trash Rockstar. Will you please hit that button?
Well, shit. What are y'all doing? This is awful. It's still March. How many days in March?
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call that Birmingham office, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. We start first. A man is recovering after shooting himself in the groin in front of his girlfriend outside of a West Miami apartment complex on Thursday.
That's going to impress her.
Now, according to police, he was trying to kill her ex-boyfriend. It happened just before 3 p.m.
Did the exact opposite.
It's like a Dunaway shot.
They did the exact opposite. Now you're 0 for 1.
Police said the man shot twice at his girlfriend's ex on the sidewalk, missed, and put his gun away before it discharged in his pocket.
Yeah, man.
And that's a Plaxico
If
Burris.
you're the guy he's trying to kill, do you say something like, dude, you all right?
Yeah. No, I think you just shake your head like,
Yeah, I ain't worried about this guy. Did Plax shoot himself in the leg, right?
Yeah, remember he had on
thigh.
sweatpants
Yep.
and he sumbled upstairs in a club.
Yeah, and it shot itself in the inner thigh, didn't it?
West Miami police said it's an unusual occurrence. Pete Delgado, the city's acting police chief, quote, "This is very rare. This is probably the first actual shooting we've had here in over 12 years. That's shocking.
That really is.
Now, it's a small city, West Miami, between Miami and Coral Gables. Now, the man is expected to be okay. Police say once he gets out of the hospital, he's going to be arrested on an attempted murder charge. Would you stay in the hospital as long as you could at that point?
I think I would, yes. So attempted murder, though. So the attempted murder.
I've regressed.
So he took a shot at the guy and missed.
2 shots.
Two shots.
And then hit himself.
Yeah,
In
so
the
basically
overrun.
it was Dunaway at Alabama State.
Well, that's true. 1 for 3. What is, I wonder what the healing process is. Like, shoots up in the groin.
I guess it depends on where it hits.
I mean, is there a chance that nothing down there ever works again?
I guess it would be a chance.
Yeah. That's going to suck. Like, you're trying to kill your...
I think Darlene blew dude's junk off
did?
in Ozark, right?
Yeah, Darlene didn't mess around.
She did not. I remember us talking to her about that scene.
Didn't he walk with a cane for the rest of the show?
Oh, he did.
He did.
That was the only cane he had, Rockstar.
So tough.
Yeah.
Columbus police arrested a suspect Tuesday morning who they believe broke into several businesses on the city's west side, including a pet store where several animals were released. Now, officers discovered that the restaurant was broken into. Detectives obtained video evidence showing a man with long hair wearing leopard print pajamas inside of the restaurant. It's unclear whether anything was taken from the restaurant. About 100 yards away, officers found that the Petland store was also broken into and several animals were seen running around the parking lot. Police recovered 2 dogs, multiple birds, a hamster, and at least 2 bunnies. Now, the suspect, who police identified as Michael Pancake, I've never heard that for a last name.
Pancake.
No, there was, I think, you're not going to believe this, that I know this, but I think there was a girl that played golf at the University of Alabama, and her last name was Pancake. Because I think she was really good, and she played on the LPGA Tour.
Yeah, I remember there was a Pam Cake in Meet the Parents.
Oh, Pancakes?
Yeah. Well, anyway, this dude, Michael Pancake, was found sleeping near the Big Lots at 4:47 a.m. That's when officers arrested him and discovered there were 4 hamsters in his pants.
It happens, man. In my leopard pants.
Now, Pancake was taken to a local hospital, treated for his injuries. Unclear what charges he could face.
Pancakes. Bob, Meet the Parents, the original, was such a funny movie.
Do you guys remember the gerbil rumors with Richard Gere?
I think Gere does too.
Yeah.
I mean, just that's what you're known for. Even if it wasn't true, like I don't know how it got started, but like now nobody's going to ever know if I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, once
doubt.
an urban legend gets out like that, you really...
Oh, man, I remember...
And it's almost like the more you deny it, the more validity you get.
It's such a random celebrity to do it for.
Did y'all have randomly like those kind of like completely fabricated rumors about people in school?
Oh, I had Adam Sandler died of heroin overdoses like 5 times.
No, I'm talking about like people you went to school with.
Yep, absolutely.
We had a girl, and she got labeled as pig brain eater because like... I forgot what her parents, it might have been like gizzards or something.
Yeah.
But it got turned around that she ate pig brains, and it lasted with her for like 3 or 4 years. Awful. Then another dude that he had banged a cat. It was completely fabricated by some kid, but it stuck with this guy for years.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I would say.
Was it a male cat, a female cat?
I mean, I still remember these 2 individuals just based on those stories.
But you know what? When you ask that, there was a girl I went to school with that there was an urban legend about her. And I had not thought of her until probably since graduation, until the moment you mentioned that, and she immediately came back to mind. Can't really discuss it on the air here, but there was an urban legend about her. And then there was an urban legend about a...
edit yourself?
Huh?
You're going to edit yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to edit myself. There was an urban legend about a...
hot dog?
No, well, a player in our community, athlete in our community. There was an urban legend about him.
Well, there's one about a girl with peanut butter. There's always a peanut butter girl. Always.
Yeah, and I doubt any of these are true, but it's like it's all you can think about.
Just ask them straight up.
I knew 2 individuals, the hot dog girls.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's impossible.
Are you the hot dog girls?
It's absolutely impossible.
I mean, but once those start to run rampant, you just can't think of anything else but that.
Hey, have you ever been scammed?
I've had my identity stolen, but it wasn't really a scam. It was a stolen checkbook.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. But I'll tell you what, it took forever to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, identity theft.
Oh, Lance, it's awful.
Yeah. So this individual right here not only scammed, her quote, I was scammed out of $200 by a fake Kevin Costner. Now, a woman said she, quote, lost a lot of money after being preyed on by fraudsters who posed as a legendary Hollywood star and his management team. Now, that's Eileen Leaks, 63, lives over in Great Britain. She's been a huge fan of the Yellowstone actor Kevin Costner for the last 2 years. Yeah, huge fan.
Yeah. Massive fan.
Takes me back 2 years. Now, a few months ago, she started following a Facebook page which she believed belonged to the 69-year-old Oscar winner. She said she was then inundated with messages telling her that to become an official fan, she would need to purchase a $100 voucher. That's normal, right?
Makes perfect sense so far.
Miss Leaks was told by doing so, she would get a chance to meet the actor in person. This all makes sense.
Yep.
Quote, I was getting nagged and then I gave in because they were saying you won't meet him unless you get the Apple card. So I bought 2 at $100 each.
All right.
I then got a message back saying I'd been scammed, and in order to actually meet Costner, I would have to buy a VIP membership card for over $1,000.
That's how they get you.
That makes sense.
Now, the con then took another bizarre turn when Miss Leaks received a video call from someone who she initially believed was Costner. She said, quote, his face was moving, and that's why I thought it was really him. He was sitting in a chair in his office, and he was moving. He said, quote, this is Kevin Costner, and you've been scammed. His, quote, management team then got a hold of me and said it's not him, and people were using his face and voice to scam people. After reporting the scam, Miss Leaks said she was contacted on a private messaging service by the scammers again, promising her a job and an apartment in America. Quote, if fans think they're going to get a job in America and an apartment, they will get all the way over there and they will lose an awful lot. I am unemployed and I've lost a lot of money, so I'm not very happy, end quote. Not very smart either.
Yeah.
Nick say that.
Nick says we kind of scammed 2 girls in Talladega with a fake Michael Keaton. We weren't trying to get anything out of them, though. We were just having a good time there, Nick.
Keaton can ball.
Have you seen the guy shoot from beyond the arc?
So they have got a Mayor Olympics.
Yeah, I think it's what it's called.
Mayor, like the mayors of a city?
Oh,
Mia Sim became the fastest mermaid in the world in May when she competed at the Swiss Mayor Olympics in Geneva, Switzerland.
Oh, doing it for the Stars and Stripes, though. I appreciate it.
I always see little girls swimming with those things. They look like you would drown.
Well, have you heard those stories, though? Is like when they get wet, they're heavier than people imagine, and some people do get pulled down. Like you're supposed to.
It looks tricky.
Yeah, you're supposed to only do those in shallow end, I think.
Now, this has been around since 2015. The competition is held every 2 years. Sims has officially been mermaiding for 10 years.
Yeah.
Said that the Mayor Olympics really boomed in the last 5 years. Now, all athletes must complete the 5 events at the Mayor Olympics. Ecology, the athlete dives down and retrieves as much trash as possible in 90 seconds.
I'm just
overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. We're going to New Delhi. Oh, no.
Figures, the competitor has to perform 3 of 10 mermaid figures.
Only 3 of 10?
Underwater posing. Each person dives down and poses for a picture and then has to swim away for the next person to take their spot. Sim says she thinks this one is the hardest. The rescue, mermaid has to do a 25-meter submerged swim and rescue a dummy. In the
big
speed.
dummy. Hi, what's your name? Are you a mermaid? I got bricks for shows.
And the speed finally is the athletes race along the top of the water for 50 meters.
Is this on NBC, like the real Olympics?
I really know. You know, this would be more interesting than something.
I would agree.
Like, I might rather see this in some Olympic events
No
this
doubt.
year.
That's what I thought you were about to say. I mean, it's several of the Olympic events. If they said no, all right, on NBC Sports Network, we got people dressed as mermaids doing things. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to watch that one just to see what it looks like.
Finally, Nude Recreation Week, celebrated across the U.S. every year in the week after Independence Day from July 8th to July 14th. We're right in the middle of it right now, also known as National Nude Week. The week aims to celebrate life outside of the limitations of clothing. While some of us might find it embarrassing or plain weird to go out in public without clothes, there are thousands of nude enthusiasts who look forward to a week of shedding their clothes and living more naturally. Now, how to celebrate Nude Recreation Week? Celebrate in your pool. If you can't go to the beach, no problem. Strip down, skinny dip in your pool. Celebrate inside of your house. If you aren't comfortable being naked in public, consider simply not wearing clothes at home, or you can attend a nudist party. I have never heard of a nudist party.
I haven't either. But
Lance, you can do this because you and Forster, you all have pools, but it also says you can also invite some friends over to join in. Do you tell them beforehand what you're planning on?
Oh, no, of course not. You spring it on them.
Hey, guys, guess what?
That's the thing. Don't you have to be a complete weirdo and you only invite weirdos to things like this, right?
I will say this. I have a friend that lives in another state, and he and his wife have frequented a nudist area. It's more topless and I guess bottomless for the guys.
Wait, so guys will wear a shirt with no bottom?
I ain't showing my stomach.
Yeah. No. I mean, they're full nude. I don't know if the women are full nude. I guess they are. I don't know if they're just topless. But there is an area there where it's completely legal. I mean, it's not like, some... I mean, he's an otherwise normal... I was about to say relatively normal. Otherwise normal guy, but he and his wife go do this. Now, would I do it? No. But, I mean, I don't look at them and be like... there's no, like, upside-down pineapples or anything. They're not going home with other people.
Yeah, I don't know. I say it's strange. I think we've all played strip poker at some point, though.
I have played strip poker before.
I always thought it was interesting that girls have got two hands, what they would use the two hands to cover once they got naked.
Yeah. Well, you got to hold the cards too. That's part of the problem. I mean, I had to streak once as I lost a bet and had to streak down a public street.
And that was kind of strange because it was a bunch of dudes that made you do it, right?
That is correct, yes. But I had to run to a girl's house, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And ring the doorbell and come back.
And that was you were like, wait, you want me to strip and run next? Well, you're going to Susan's house.
I'm going to follow you just to make sure you make it.
That was the lost bet. No, I did it by myself as everybody stood and laughed at the top of the hill. I had to run uphill coming back. That
Did
was
you
the
leave your
bad
socks
part.
and shoes on?
Yeah, that was the agreement is I could leave my socks and shoes on.
You should have just walked.
Look ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't want to look like a complete idiot, Rockstar.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham and offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right, 205-900-7200 or online mortgageright.com.
I mean, Nick is right in the mybookie.ag chat room. It is a good thing video doorbells have changed so much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's ruined a lot of stuff, but also like.
Well, I think surveillance in general.
Yeah.
Like, just cameras anywhere.
Doesn't it? I don't have one. Doesn't it like alert you on your phone like when somebody's
I frequently during the show get an alert because the Amazon guy comes or,
Imagine me every day, like my son wants to walk around the neighborhood because people have toys all over the place and we just pillage. And I just know like every day that people get these alarms that me and him are there with race cars and taking their stuff and playing with it at the time and me saying, no, don't touch that. And just like, God, this guy every day.
Every day he's on my doorbell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's changed everything. Could you imagine me? I get arrested now for streaking up to a doorbell cam.
Brad Bell and his crew were out a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And, they're doing a kitchen. So it's in and out. So it's just nonstop.
Oh, I know. That
can you
was
disable it on your phone? Just like, I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, you can. But like I had to do that.
Of course, I feel like if A+ is out there, I don't have to worry about like looking at it.
Yeah, I was having a window replaced, and they had to go in and out a lot. It was during the show, and I mean, it was probably 70 alerts I got because to Rockstar's point, I was afraid if I disable it, I'd forget to go back, and so I just dealt with it. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you've got construction going on at your home, it is going to set off your doorbell cam a lot. But I've got a buddy that he's got security cameras everywhere, and he's got them all. Anytime something happens, it pops up on his phone. I'm like, I just don't want to be that. I wouldn't want that all the time. Now, there's a reason he does.
If I was out of town, maybe, I guess, it depends on the situation.
I guess so. All right, that is Trash the Hour, of course, brought to you by Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Sterling and his crew doing a great job there keeping you fed. That world-famous fried chicken, the Mississippi Delta tamales, great pool boys, right there at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. More of the next round after this.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longest offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longest has to offer you.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
So again, if you want to follow the remainder of Dunaway's journey and his MyBookie.ag bracket bet payoff, you can do that at Next Round Live. He's already knocked 2 out. Neville Arena in Auburn, the Acadome at Alabama State. He's on his way to Coleman Coliseum right now, so that is going to be a big moment in this challenge. You can follow that at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live, Lance's lock on him getting in Coleman Coliseum. What are our odds on that? Give me a percentage.
I think he is a minus 250. He will get in.
Minus 250. So heavy favorite to get in.
Actually, minus 250. It'll be open, and I think he gets in. He's minus 10,000. He'll find a way to get in.
So far, 2 for 2 with arenas accessible and goals set up. I mean, that's 2 for 2.
No,
the goals being set up was a concern, too.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised. I think it helped that E.G. and Taylor were with him because I don't see him walking up to coaches that are actually working out and practicing and saying, hey, can I shoot?
That does feel invasive. I would agree. I mean, I would not be comfortable doing that.
I think they probably were like, hey, look, I think you can probably approach them and they're going to be okay with it.
The best players, according to EA Sports and College Football, in a moment after Lance tells us about Inverness Golf Club.
They have memberships that will fit everyone. Maybe you relocated to retired. Inverness is a great place to network, from the social membership, including that resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch. They've got tennis. They've got pickleball, beautiful golf course, currently expanding the driving range. Child care is also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid and go have yourself a day on the court or course. Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. Best days happen there. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Aaron. Tell her the Next Round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
All right, the rankings go to 100, I think, or is it 99? Either way, here are your top 10 players for College Football 2025 based on EA Sports ranking.
I'm going to assume that Colorado has 2 on this list.
Colorado has 1 on this list. Yeah, and I don't have an argument with it, to be honest with you.
Okay, so Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to say Travis Hunter's on the list.
Travis Hunter is number 6. Number 1 is Michigan corner Will Johnson.
Okay.
Great defense last year. They're going to be good again this year in all likelihood. Number 2, LSU left tackle Will Campbell, who's 96. Both those are 96 overall. We've talked about him on the show today. Number 3 is Ollie Gordon, 96 overall.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Let me guess, is there a receiver on this list?
There
outside of Travis Hunter
is not. Travis Hunter is the only receiver. You got to know the running back.
The other running back is going to be
Quinshon Judkins, number 9, 2 Ohio State players.
I think Travion Henderson might actually have a better year. But.
Right. Number 4 is James Pierce of Tennessee, the defensive end for Tennessee. Guy's just a mammoth baller.
Where is Carson back? He's got to be the first quarterback.
Number 5 is Caleb Downs, free safety Formerly Alabama, now Ohio State. Highest-ranked Ohio State player. Number 6, Travis Hunter, we mentioned. Number 7, Malachi Starks.
Georgia.
The Georgia free safety.
Yeah.
Number 8, Mason Graham, the Michigan defensive tackle. These guys are all 95s.
And by the way, that's 2 Michigan defenders right there.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good defense again. Number 9, Ohio State's Quinshon Judkins, we mentioned. The running back is 95 overall. And number 10, Tate Ratledge, the right guard for the Georgia Bulldogs, at 95 overall. So 2 Georgia players not named Carson Beck.
Hey, and is this the first year? And it's interesting, the correlation with Nick Saban retiring. But is this the first year you wouldn't have had an Alabama in the top 10?
Yeah, I mean, you would have, obviously, if Caleb Downs stuck around. And if Saban hadn't retired, he probably does. The thing that jumped out at me, you don't have Carson Beck or anybody. You don't have a single quarterback in there. Shador, Carson Beck, nobody.
You look at Shador. This is a guy that was sacked 52 times last year.
And that ain't on him. And there's no telling how many he bailed his offensive line out on.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah. I believe Carson Beck is going to end up being the better quarterback. But when you look at, he absolutely had nothing around him and still only turned it over 3 times, getting sacked 52.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
It really is.
Well, he did not make the list. No quarterback on the list, and that I do find that interesting.
Wait, how deep does the list go?
Well, I've only seen the top 10.
And the mybookie.ag is saying Florida doesn't have a single player in the top 100.
I think that top 100 is out. I haven't dug through it yet. I think our buddy Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, sent it out.
I guess that doesn't really – I mean, it should be shocking.
Well, it's shocking that they're to that point.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, though, that this roster doesn't have a top 100. I mean, that's basically a top 3, round 1, 2, or 3 pick in the NFL.
And when you're in the state of Florida, just guys that want to stay home and play football, you get a top 100 player. I mean, there's so many great players in Florida, and the fact you can't do that is astounding. Chris H. in the mybookie.ag chat room says Auburn doesn't either. I don't guess I'm stunned by that with Auburn. Jarquez Hunter, I think, has potential to be that. Eugene Asante has potential to be that. But I'm not stunned by that either when I look at Auburn's roster. That's been heavily talked about. All right, lock of the day up right now. Hemp Hill Services brings you the lock every day.
Yep, we got 2 plays up right now. Lanceslock.com, $100 gets you absolutely everything. But our friends at Hemp Hill, speaking of everything, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Call them, Adam, Chad, Andrew, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, get that lock at lanceslock.com. That is going to do it for the show again. Go Next Round Live on social media. Make sure you have followed all social media at Next Round Live. Little T and EG will document Dunaway at Coleman Coliseum next. And then on the road back to UAB and Sanford to try to wrap up this mybookie.ag bracket bet payoff. You can see it all at Next Round Live. We'll have reaction on the show tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow.